After a disappointing result versus Brentford at St. James's Park, Newcastle United meet Tottenham, who are in the same predicament. Who's going to come out of the freezing cold of the bottom half of the table? Find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Brilliant from Sham. And now Murphy could take on the shot. Fabian Sham wins!
All right, folks. As always, it's an absolute blessing. It's an absolute privilege to be able to do a show tonight with you guys and with the esteemed guests that I'm going to have on the show already. As you guys know, I love it when the chat starts. When already got people in the chat before we start the show. Big up to you, Adrian. God bless you. And look, as always, it's a privilege to be able to do the show with you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Wherever you guys are listening from, whatever you're doing, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. So God bless you, folks, for being here. We're going to have, for the show tonight, we're going to be doing the match preview for the Tottenham show. Now, let's erase that. We're going to do a match preview show for the versus Tottenham today. And we've got privileged guests that I'm going to be talking with you to discuss the game with. And we're going to be doing a scouting report on a midfielder that's been linked to Newcastle. Now, I did post about him to much controversy. I've never had so many people engage with my posts before. I might have to mention his name some more to get followers, I think. But I'll bring him up. But without further ado, as always, folks, we've got friends of the channel. We're going to bring on Ashmatic. As you guys know, very, very privileged to have him on the show. One of my favorite football analysts as well. So great to have him. And also, we've got our friend of the channel is also Mitch, who has been absolutely, you guys, is always in high demand here. Sometimes I feel like he might as well just do the show instead of me, but I'm always privileged to have him on the show. So let me welcome our esteemed guests. Ash, Mitch, how you gentlemen doing?
Can't complain, man. We're here, man. Listen, what a weekend. What a week. Listen, it don't stop, you know. It don't stop. And I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. That's how I feel right now. But yeah, big up the chat, big up you, man. Thanks for having me on. Like the show, subscribe as always.
You came on singing. How you doing, Mitch?
Yeah. Well, Ash said he can't complain. I could complain, but I'm not going to. We're in deep water at the minute, and we're trying to find our way out. So hopefully tomorrow night, that is exactly what happens. Unfortunately for Ash, we're hoping that, but let's see. Otherwise, the season could tail away. Definitely don't want that.
No, I couldn't agree with you both. I always a blessing. It's great. It's like the stars have aligned with everything that's going on for both clubs now. I know we're kind of pressed for time, so I want to be able to get as much from today's show as well from both of you guys. But look, Ash, we've got to start off with Tottenham, right? We've got to start off with Tottenham. We've got to see what's happening with you guys. Let's break it down. You've had why I want to go start from Man City game, because it was an emotional game. It was, from what I saw, like it was tremendously, like that first half was looking insanely bad. I was like, oh my word, this is giving me Steve Bruce, we're going to go down bright vibes, right? To then the heroics that happened in the second half when you guys pulled it back, and deservedly so, I thought so as well. Mm. And so you ended the game on the high before going into this Man United game. And that first 30 minutes, I thought was really close. I was proper enjoying it. I thought it was a good game of football. And then the Romero situation happened. I'm going to stop there. But where's things at with Tottenham? And what do you think of what's been going on? And how do you think Tottenham are entering this game, in your opinion?
I'm going to reframe it really quickly.
Yes, sir.
You know how you said, you want to start with Man City? I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
We're not doing that. We're not. 16 games, and we've won 2 out of 16. That's where we're starting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I understand you guys 1 win in 8. So we just times that by 2. We just do. You have to double up on things. You know what I'm saying? You got problems. Guess what? You got twice as much. It's not a competition. I promise you, bro.
No, sir. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not. But that's the kind of that's the reason why you heard the airiness at the stadium at Man City. Do you understand? That's the reason why I didn't want to start where we were starting. So that gives some context to why the game was so stale and it looked where it looked. However, you're right. Second half, things did change. And it almost felt like, did Man City take their foot off the gas, take things for granted? Or was it green shoots? Now, that's the debate at the moment for some Spurs fans, that maybe we are starting to see some hopeful things with Thomas Frank in terms of that second half against Man City.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 30 minutes before Romero got sent off, in terms of how we were playing, could we look to that to say, yeah, maybe we can start to see some positive traits coming out of our club? But for me, I saw that first 30 minutes. I'm not going to lie. It depends on how you judge football.
Okay.
If you judge football on pitch territory, yeah, like how much possession you're holding within the opponent's half, then you could say, look, Tottenham, we had it on their half. We had a good spell, I think, after maybe 12 or 13 minutes when we had the ball in there near their box. We're trying to get crosses into the box, shots were blocked, etc. So when you have that period of like domination, and it was about I'd say a good 10 minutes maybe of that, the game feels a bit different, because I felt like the first 5-10 minutes they came out, they were energetic, the crowd were up for it. It was Old Trafford of old, which made it feel really entertaining. So as a neutral, you guys were like probably watching it thinking, yeah, this is gonna be a good game. I saw first 40 seconds in Boomo, boom, over the bar. I was like, whoa. That's how I felt. Like, you start seeing your roller coaster just go like that. That's what I felt. And then the next thing I know, there's another chance for Man United. Like, don't quote me on the order of these shots, by the way. But a ball comes into Bruno Fernandes, kind of miscues it. We defend it. It goes back outside, and then Casemiro does one of those hits. You know that meme with a cat?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like he's in the snow and it curves like that. Yeah, he does that shot, and then obviously Vicario has to stretch full body, boom, save it again. And I'm like, okay, I wonder when it's our turn to kind of you get what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm not gonna bore you with the whole match.
No, I'm enjoying this.
No, it happened a few times, yeah. And I was just trying to think, with all that domination we had, where was the opportunities we had from the edge of the box or in the box where we tested the goalkeeper? Now, the one I do remember was from Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher kind of had it, so you can't even remember it. You're like, Conor Gallagher had a chance? And this is what I mean. It depends how you judge games. Because for me, I didn't really see us trouble their goal. I didn't really see us ask questions of their keeper. So that's how I judge. Like, before Romero was sent off, that's how I'm judging it. And I was like, Rod, I could name you another 2 or 3 more chances that they had. Cunha being one of them. Do you understand? Right. So I'm like, yeah, we had some of the ball, and we kind of stopped them from attacking our goal for a little bit, but I didn't really see anything much further than that. Do you know what I mean? Right. And that's not me trying to be, because I thought, bro, am I moving mad? Because everyone's saying, yeah, like, oh, but before Romero got sent off, and I heard a few people saying that. So I was like, no, Ash, you're tripping, you're bugging. Go watch the game again. Calm down a bit. Go watch it again. I watched it again. I had my pen in my hand. Okay. I'm not going crazy. I'm not. I'm really not. Anyway. Obviously, we lose Romero, and then it is what it is. We can see that goal like not too far after that corner, that set piece corner, where they kind of worked it. Now, when I saw that goal go in, I'm like, would Romero have made a difference? Now, in my humble opinion, We have given up space at the edge of the box, game after game after game after game. They even asked Thomas Frank, like when you leave that, bit at the edge of the box, is that something you're doing on purpose? You're looking to address that and blah, blah, blah. And then he kind of like just batted it off, saying, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into the details, but he just basically didn't think it was a big thing. But obviously,
don't tell me he said it's dynamic. Don't tell me he said it's dynamic. Is that it was been dynamic? If he says that, it's over. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the levels, yeah.
These managers are entertaining. I don't even try to listen to the press conferences anymore because you just get emotional. So I try to tune out. But yeah, the journalists did ask him about it, and it's like they just purposely ignore it, like dickhead. Like you know more about football than I do. We conceded the same chance at the edge of the box, and I'm like, I don't think Romero's stopping that. You know what I'm saying? Romero will probably be on the same line as the rest of the other 11 players that are on that line.
So do you not normally have a guy on the edge of the box there?
No, we don't.
Oh,
you know why? Let me tell you why. Frank said he believes in XG. He's an XG firm believer. He likes stats, and he relies and lives on those XGs. And he said the further away you are from the goal, the lower the XG is. And he said the closer you are to the goal, meaning the penalty area, the penalty spot, the higher the XG. So he believes in defending that 6-yard zone. Yeah. That's the reason why he gives up that space. He said it. He explained it. He let everyone know this is why. And then teams and coaches were like, I'm gonna find my best player to shoot from those areas.
Right.
And guess what? We've been conceding game after game after game, those same areas, bro. So that's how I took that game. Even before the game started, I thought we would lose to Man United because Man United were on form. And then I looked at the players that we had, and I'm like, we're not on form. Therefore, simple logic, they're probably going to win. So that was my mindset going into it. And then it played out the way I thought. And so I found it hard to see, like, if we had 11 men, if the result would be any different. But I would never know. So, yeah. But that's my small breakdown without me ranting or going into a whole tactical breakdown.
I like the fact that you forget how you look at football, like were you creating chances essentially. When you were saying, I was thinking that's true though. It looked close because it was competitive and you saw a few slide tackles and a few maneuvers here and there. But exactly, but it was Man United that were doing all the shooting. So that's what it comes down to. Mitch, but first of all, big up to the chat. Good to see my man Jordy Z, the original member that came onto the show as well, when it was either just him and probably my wife somewhere watching this show. So good to see you, sir. Big up to you, Jordy Z. Hi, mate. I'm there from the start there. You are, and I'm really good to see you. Lomino, it's good to see you, sir. God bless you. Says, what up, boys? Aaron Kane. He's just part of the show. He's just part of the furniture. Always good to see Aaron Kane. Aaron Kane says something here that I was going to actually talk about, Mitch, as well. The press conference. He's not feeling confident for the game. Before things get negative, I will give Eddie credit for finally taking some accountability. It's 30 games too late, but 30 games too late. Wow, Aaron. Okay, too late, but at least he's acknowledged an issue. Right. I don't know if you saw the press conference, Mitch, that Eddie Howe, and it's interesting that Ash talked about press conferences. I myself have recently turned off them. But this one I had to listen to because this was emotional. It was emotional. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it, Mitch?
No, I haven't seen today's one yet. Normally I grabbed them like straight away, but today I left my headphones at home, so I had to sit in silence at work.
Yeah. Put it this way, this was like a moment of clarity for everyone. Like, it was deep. So I'm going to actually ask Ash in a moment about where he's at as well with his manager and everything else. But Eddie Howe was basically saying that he's got to also, first of all, he's got to look at himself. Yes, he's putting in 100% effort, but whatever he's doing, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, is not working. So he's got to find a solution for these things. Same for the players. as well. Like whatever's happening, no matter what they're saying, no matter how whether this stat is good or that stat is good, it's not working. So he's going to figure out why it's not working, and he's going to put 100% effort into it. The journalists for the first time were asking good follow-up questions, which was along the lines of, do you still see yourself as the man to take Newcastle forward? He basically said yes. Like, do you kind of consider resigning? Because if I ever had the feeling of I wasn't like the man to take Newcastle forward, I would essentially, I would go. Like it was deep stuff. Like they were talking about. He acknowledged the fans booing at the end of it because you should. That's the reaction you should have essentially when the team is playing that badly. So to me, again, I'm paraphrasing now, and I know that you haven't seen it, Mitch, but to me, kind of, I listened to it twice. The first time I thought, okay, yeah, this is like I was saying to you, so it's both things really. It's a moment of clarity and it's a moment of like, yeah, like this is real talk. And the second one, the second time I listened to it and I thought about it was, wow, this is the kind of conversation you have before you actually do step away.
Okay.
Right? So again, you haven't seen it, Mitch, and you're kind of going off of what I'm paraphrasing and how it came across to me. What's your thoughts on that, and what's your thoughts on where kind of where you think where Eddie Howe is at, where Newcastle are at going into the game with Spurs?
Do you know what? As mad as this sounds, that 2 months ago, not even that, 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I would have been fully backing Eddie Howe and saying there's no way he leaves before the end of the season. But now I'm in the boat of this feels very much like a sliding doors moment for him. That's not my personal view. I'm not saying if we lose tomorrow, he's gone. I feel like this next week is his sliding door. So if we lose to Tottenham, lose to Villa, lose to Qarabağ, I think the owners will start looking at him sideways. Actually, I think if we do anything worse than win 2 of those games, he could be in trouble owners-wise. And some fans are turning on him already. But if they're not fully believing that he's the guy to turn this around and take us forward, if this keeps getting worse, I think they'll pull the trigger quite soon, to be honest. But I feel tomorrow we have to win the league. We have to win. If we get stuck back into where Tottenham are, Brighton, Palace, if we get sucked back into that mix, they will start looking at him funny. And then Villa is just as big at the weekend because that's our best chance of winning a trophy this season. So if we're out of that and we lose this, Qarabağ then becomes massive. If that doesn't go 100% our way, we've then got City away where we never win. If we lose that again and we're even deeper into that mix by the end of that game, I think he's got a problem. I still believe he should be given to the end of the season. A lot of Newcastle fans won't agree with that, but I think he's got enough credit in the bank as long as we're not actually sucked into a relegation battle to see if he can turn this around. Because this is his first real big blip. If we're going to sack him on that, we're going to end up, I know Chelsea are probably ahead of us as a football club. We don't want to be changing managers every 18 months. Tottenham change their managers quite a lot. West Ham do it. Man United teams do it quite a lot. We don't want to be one of them clubs. We want to be someone that looks further into the future. If he's the guy we see in control in 2 years' time when everything's in place and he can get the team running, let's keep him. Let's see if he can turn it around. And I'm in that boat. So it's massive for him. And I hope he doesn't go. But I would understand the decision if we get 2 weeks down the line and there's only one winner and in 4 games and we're in like all kinds of mess by that point.
I couldn't agree more. Ash, I'm good. Before I ask you about Thomas Frank and the situation at Tottenham, I wanted to get kind of obviously opposition fans' view of Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Now, I'll lay this foundation, and I know hopefully we can get Mitch's score prediction before he leaves as well. I did a show last week, Thursday, I think. And I looked at Newcastle's trends in terms of XG for them and XGA against them, essentially in terms of the Premier League, and put the results at the top. Essentially, how it read is that at least 2/3 of Newcastle's 24 Premier League games, Newcastle had the better XG than the opposition team and the lower XG compared to the opposition team, as an indicator to show that they were the better performing team. It doesn't mean that they were the performing team. It just doesn't indicate to say that, you know, this is if we're looking like that, it might suggest that they're the better performing team. Out of those 16 games that they were the better performing team, they won 8 of those games, right? And they drew, and I think they lost 5 of those. No, they drew 5 of those. No, I think they either drew. I can't remember which way around it is, but they either drew or lost 5 of those games, and then lost one of those games. And what it came down to, what it boiled down to, was not finishing their chances, poor away results, and around essentially now the defense is looking weak against the counter, against transition teams. All of these 3 things happen against Brentford, by the way. So with that said, anyway, kind of laying the foundation, I wanted to get your perspective on Eddie Howe on Newcastle. And you kind of agree with Mitch that from the outside looking in, you're thinking, boy, this is getting awfully close to the end, essentially.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, like, tactically, I was looking at it and I was like, you've got some of the similar principles as Thomas Frank. Like, it's mad. But I think the difference is, obviously, you lot had a longer journey with your manager at the moment, and I was hoping he would learn, or at least the club would learn, from your previous endeavors in terms of Champions League and not having a big enough squad for that. Then forwarded into this season, like, it's like similar issues are occurring. So I thought this season you try to fill those gaps, make the squad a little bit thicker, but still have quality. So a lot of things I'm seeing and hearing similar to us, like where you want to be a possession team at times because you want to slow it down. You don't always want to be helter-skelter, high intensity. Because of the injuries, you want to manage the season a bit better. But which is funny because you've got footballers, but for whatever reason, your passing's been wayward. Like in central areas, it's been a bit off. And that's what's been losing you possession. And that in turn is affecting the momentum at times, swinging it to the other team and then allowing them back into games. Fullbacks, they've been in and out. So when you guys want to do your double width, I know you do it down one side like we do, one of your forward players inverts slightly and then the fullback takes on. But because you've had injuries to that, that's kind of slowed you down. And teams are able to attack down your sides. Because I know Eddie Howe does focus a lot on out of possession play. You know, he wants to be compact, he wants to be tight, he wants to be hard to beat. But some fans say like that affects your in-game play at times because you're too much focused on the opponent rather than focusing on yourself, seeing what you're good at. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a mix going on at the moment. I just think you're just one or two players. Like, for example, if Alkmaar, he should be, for me, in the box at all times. But because the type of player is, he's quality. So he likes to drop in, help with the build-up, tear. But really, you need a man like how Isak was just in the box constantly finishing those chances off. And if he's not there to finish them off, then you're going to have XGs where they're high, but then you're not winning games or you're drawing games like you were saying at the beginning. So I think essentially that's where, like, you look at the board or you look at the club and the recruitment and the planning, because everyone talks planning. What's the plan? Then maybe you look for a midfielder that can create, you know, so he hasn't got to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can change your style, that you can hold onto the ball, and someone that could do a through ball, pass between the lines, slow it down if needed, control that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So that profile, it doesn't have to be a necessary number 10. Could be a wide player. Could be a wide player that is a wide, because there's different wingers you've got. You've got
like
wingers
a Pedro.
Yeah, you can have a
player that would be,
So there's so many like there's nothing wrong with Alkmaar in my opinion. We saw a different profile. We saw a different profile to Alkmaar. But again, he didn't hit the ground running because he was injured. He wasn't featured. So you missed a lot of games that you know would affect your XG when you're like, if we want to play in behind and a player that can run in behind slightly different to what Vodemita offers, that's not available right now. Do you know what I mean? And he's coming now, and it's like either or. Like sometimes I'm like, how be a bit brave, play with both of them. You know, if you haven't got like, you know, what I'm talking about, like a playmaker or a wide playmaker, creator, etc. Just play both of them because I think Visa could run in behind. Voltemeda could be the second striker at times.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? That could
Yeah.
possibly work. So then that's down on the manager. Do you know what I mean? Because he's scratching his head saying, well, I'm going to have to look at myself and I'm going to have to ask the players to look at themselves too. Well, brother, look at yourself, innit? Let's get 2 mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Get 2 mirrors, maybe one from behind. So then you can start looking in your wing mirror. You could check your mirrors, bro. But yeah, basically, there's things he can do. He can change if he really wants to, and he can turn it around. I think the fans and I think the board, because you lot have got ambitions to play the Champions League regularly and grow and get past that next point, because it was lovely. You won the cup, but I feel like fans are like, what's next? We want to go to the next level now. We're ready. We've been ready. And they're not sure if he's that guy because he's quite pragmatic and logical and sensible and methodical. And maybe they're thinking, maybe this is the time to kind of, mix it up, roll the dice and maybe replace him. I've answered your question. I've just been talking, bro.
No, you just gave us a very comprehensive opposition.
Spoke for 5 minutes and what was the question?
Yeah,
the job interviews I know I talked a lot, but I didn't answer the question. I'm not getting the job, am I?
I know how Howe feels now, man. Go on.
Mitch, I know you gotta go, so in a moment I'm gonna ask you for your score prediction and just your final thoughts in the game. And on how maybe, but I just want to say, I think I agree with a lot of what Ash was saying. I do think that this is going to sound weird, but I feel like Eddie Howe this year especially has gone through his Arteta era, meaning both managers didn't start off so pragmatic and methodical. Remember, Eddie Howe was the gun-ho, we're mauling teams up in your face. If you get past us, you get past us. But we're like, you got to deal with the intensity. Now, obviously, that's changed for different reasons. Obviously, our players collapsed the next season. Plus, the Premier League, because of injuries, we had 2 players out of with ACLs, for instance, as an example. And the league has got stronger. People have got bigger, stronger players. There's a reason why Guardiola's got Arteta. There's a reason why, Semenyo, for instance, Arteta's got himself big old players all across his Arsenal team as well. It's to deal with that intensity. But I agree with what Ash is saying, that you can be too pragmatic, and at the end of the day, you got to win the games. You have to win the games, however you look at it. No matter what happens, and at the same time, the recruitment. Our aim was to get João Pedro and Nketiah this transfer window. Obviously, they didn't work out in hindsight, and that's why I do look at the owners of everything that went on in that situation. The João Pedro deal, for instance, was waiting a week to get done before Chelsea were still in the middle of a deal before they turned around to do João Pedro, and we let 10 days or a week go by before we let that deal go through. So that was insane. But anyway, Mitch, I want to hear your score predictions and any kind of final thoughts you have on the game, Eddie Howe, Newcastle. Yeah.
This is a tough one to call because for the last month I've been getting everything wrong when it comes to Newcastle.
Oh yeah,
score lines, lineups. It's just going mad. Nothing seems to fall into place, and I can't figure it out. So this is the first game I'm going into it. I'm like, I don't even know what team we're going to put out. I don't know what formation he's going to play. I don't really know how the game's going to go. We've got a team that ain't great at home against a team that ain't great away. Both seem to be in a little bit of free fall. Fran's not happy. So it's a crazy one to predict. I'm kind of hoping that we go a little bit like formation-wise what we finished with at the weekend, which looked a little bit more like a 4-2-3-1-ish kind of formation. I hope we see a little bit of that. And I hope that our number 9 is William Ossola. I feel like his robustness, his pace, how he's just everywhere, closes down everything. I think that could cause Tottenham some troubles with Voltemada behind, Barnes and Elanga either side. And then you'd probably have to go to Tonali Bruno as the double pivot in the midfield. The back four kind of picks itself. Hopefully Miley's back and we can shot Trippier out. Yeah. So if Miley's back, put him at right back. Other 3 of the back 3 pit themselves for me, Thiaw, Botman, Hall. and whichever one of the goalies he wants to throw in there, I think they're much of a muchness at the minute. It doesn't really make too much difference. And I feel if that team performs how we believe it should perform, we win the game by 2 goals. That is my initial feeling on it. But I've got everything wrong recently, and I could turn up. It could be complete. We could go 4-3-3 again, and you see Willock and Ramsey and all kinds of different madness, and the game ends up as a 0-0 draw. It could be anything. I'm so confused right now, but that's what I hope I see. And with Tottenham in the situation they're in and their injuries, we should be winning. If we don't win tomorrow, it's going to be a long end to the league season.
Big up to you, Mitch. As always, you always come through for the channel especially when you've got your own show going. So God bless. Let folks know where they can find you and everything else.
I'm running off to do my show on Where the Owls Sleep. We run every Monday, 8:30. We also do some pre-game stuff on the weekends, and we've now got a rival show Saturday night, 10 p.m.
Yes.
Badge versus Badge. So please join us on any of them shows when you can. If you're in here, don't leave here to come to my show. Finish Toons and then go onto YouTube and find it after and follow up behind. So yeah. Pause. That was wild.
I don't even know what you said, but all right.
All I heard was behind. And follow.
Yeah, follow up behind. Wild. Yeah. On that note, I'll leave you two to finish the show. But pleasure as always. Thanks for having me. Love to the chat. Like, share, subscribe. All that good
Big
stuff,
up, Mitch,
people.
man.
Nice one. Take care, guys.
Good to see you. Take care.
Big up.
Well, let's take it to the tactics board. We did mention tactics. And there's no better person to do tactics with than our very own Ash. Can you see the screen, Ash?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, because the way it comes on my screen, that's why I need to get a double screen. Actually, yeah. Anyway,
you get a cheap one on eBay, isn't it?
No, I got one, but I forgot to put it on. I actually bought one a couple of days ago, and I thought get a screen, and I said no, I did. I just bought it anyway. I'd have to remember. So let me bring out. You know what? Mitch is right. I have no clue.
4-3-3. I'll pick your team, bro. Don't worry. So 4-3-3.
Go on. You do.
You ain't doing none of that. What Mitch said. Forget all of that. We're gonna have Pope in goal, Trippier right back. Sorry, I know. Hall left back, Ottoman and Cha. Then you're gonna have Tonali, Gomeresh, and Willock. I'm sorry. He's gonna pick Willock. I'm sorry. I know.
You think so?
And then I think Voldemort. So? I reckon Voldemort is starting. I'm going to say Voldemort is starting. But Murphy and Barnes.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so you're thinking he's starting Willock and Tonali and Gomeres?
Yeah.
Is this what you're hoping he's starting, or you think he's okay? So who's our front three? Who did you say? Voldemort.
Voldemort will be the change. I'm going for Voldemort to change.
Gordon's fit, by the way, as well.
To be fair, is he fit? Oh, that changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put Gordon ahead of Barnes then.
Okay.
Yeah, Voldemort and Gordon. I'm going to put
Voldemort and Gordon. Okay, I can see that. Actually.
He could put Ramsey, to be fair, instead of Willock.
He'd want them for two different. So Willock is this is why maybe we pass. I don't want to blame him, but Willock is obviously box to box with the ball. Ramsey more of a playmaker. If who would you fear more if you had to? Not fear, but I guess who would you be more concerned about?
If you've got Willock, that gives you a bit more verticality. But you've got Hall as well. He gives you verticality as well. And Gordon. Gordon will go inside a bit more. He'll tuck in. So you've got double threat from Willock and Hall. Your left side will be pretty strong. And maybe he'll look at our right-hand side and target that, because the right-hand side for us is likely to be... Yeah, we could keep it grey, but Jed Spence apparently is fit. So I don't know if they're going to put Jed Spence as left back, because the doggy's out for 4 to 5 weeks.
Man, your injuries are horrific. Look at that. Can you see that?
So yeah. I can see that.
It's crazy.
I think that's why a lot of the fan base are starting to soften a little bit on Thomas Frank because of the injuries.
Right.
But like the diehard Angites, they're like, no, look what Ange had to do with last season. Don't you dare. So yeah. brother, right now, it's a thing where
He won't play Souza at left back.
he could play Souza. Souza did all right, I thought Souza did all right. But he was there because obviously we had no choice.
Right.
But I think he could keep Gray as a right back and have Spencer's left back. He might see him because Spencer's got the height, the physicality. Yeah, Romero comes out, of course. Dragoshin goes in. So Dragoshin and Van der Ven. So maybe he looks at Dragoshin and Gray as a weakness, is what I'm saying.
Down the left side.
Down our right-hand side, because Gray's going to be our right back. Dragoshin would be our right-sided centre back. And the stronger side would be Van der Ven.
Oh, right. Yes.
And then Van der Ven, obviously, is speed, so and physicality. And then
you got Gallagher here. Gallagher, Paulinho,
Yeah.
good. No?
Gallagher, I think we'll play 4-2-3, a 4-2-3-1. So Gallagher will be the number 10.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think Gallagher will be the number 10 because for what I saw, the way we were pressing in a 5-3-2. And well, no, sorry, not 5-3-2, a 5-2-3. And in the 3, Gallagher was the one that initiated the press. Yeah. So
with your fullbacks high.
With our fullbacks.
Like
so no. So it'll be a back 5. So more of a back 5.
Okay.
A back 5. And then 2. In the 2 pivots would be more like so yeah, we've got I think it depends in it how we do it, but for what I saw, Spence was let's put Spence back as well. So put Spence. He's on the left, higher up.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So put Spence back, and then in front of him, Sars there. And
on
then,
that side, does it got wide? Or
in the middle. And then Paulinho there. And then what you do is you tuck Gray in a little bit. And then put Odobert a little bit further back. It's mad, but this is what I saw anyway. I saw. And then I saw Gallagher in the front line. He was the one that was initiating the press. Do you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
That's what he was doing.
He's very good at that.
Yeah. So Gallagher was like aggressive. He was dog's body. He was trying to win the ball. Slanky would often lead the press, but he wasn't too far behind. And then Simmons would be there as well, backing up the press. So it was like a 5-2-3 kind of a press. But at times it looked like sometimes you'd see Odobert would jump, and it looked like a 4-2-4 in the press. It looked like a 4-2-4 kind of mid block at times. So you'd see, you see Odobert jump sometimes like that. Yeah, exactly. So you have a 4-2-4. Gray will come across a little bit to make the 4. So it all depends on what side the ball's on. That's where we would press, and we would kind of go ball side. And we commit quite a few bodies when it goes like on a particular side. So we might commit 4 to 5 bodies even just on one side if the ball is on the left-hand side, for example.
Where's the arrow? Here we go.
Yeah. And it all depends because it all like in the first 5 to 10 minutes, Spurs tried to do a high press at times, and we tried to go aggressive. So the first 5-10 minutes, we tried to do that. And then as the game kind of settles, we drop off into a mid block, and then we choose when we press, if that makes sense. So the first 10 minutes. Yeah, so what we try to do is like if you lot are playing out from the back, which you do at times, that's when we go aggressive and we try to win the ball high up and try to nick the ball off and try to create something. But lately, what's happening with Spurs is we go a goal down, and if we go a goal down, that means we lose the game. We just don't have the minerals. The mentality is just soft. We just don't have the mentality to get it back. We can get back into games and draw games. That's why we've drawn a lot of games, because we managed to get back into it like that. But we've never been able to turn it around when we win and get all 3 points.
So you kind of press with 3 players, right? So
yeah, we kind of press with 3 players with 1 behind,
like an Odobert type of thing. Okay, so that makes sense. And it's funny you mentioned when you go behind, you lose the game. We lost 19 points from going a goal goal up, which is
That's what
incredible.
I'm
We went
saying,
2-0 up
bro.
against you guys. It's just
We're
insane.
very similar. We're very similar. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Comparisons could go all day. Like I said, you know, I'll talk about double width. We do the double width. We will attack with our fullback. Gray's not really good at overlapping though, for some weird reason. He doesn't really overlap well. Doesn't cross the ball. Spence is good at overlapping, but he's not good at crossing at all. He can't cross to save his life. It's really crazy. So we've got a fullback issue at the moment, and that's our main sources. Get this. Wait for this now. See if you're looking at the man in the mirror. Our main sources of creativity is crossing balls into the box.
Right.
Our main source, I'll say again, is crossing balls into the box. I think we've only scored, like, even when we drew Man City, right? They were from 2 crosses. They were from 2 crosses out wide. One was Xavi Simons from the left. He crossed it into Solanke, making that curved run. He gets the ball, and then obviously my man kicks the back of his foot. Guehi kicks the back of his foot. He kicks the back of Guehi's foot. Yeah. And then the second goal was the scorpion kick, if you remember right. The scorpion kick where it's behind him. Both of those are crosses. Both of those are crosses, bro. But the crosses we're getting is like, when we're scoring goals, it's off a transition. So we're moving the ball quickly, the space is in behind, we go down the side, and then we whip the cross, and then there's less bodies in the box, and then we score the goal. But more time, if a team's dropped off and we're playing against a mid to low block, we're crossing the ball into the box, and there's about 4 or 5 defenders that are 6 feet tall, all waiting to header the ball away from the box. So I'm looking at the logic of our attack, and I'm like, broski, sometimes mix it up and go through the middle. Like, what we do there? You know what I'm trying to say? Not every day go down the sides. Like, mix it up a little bit. And so that's where we've looked a bit predictable. And a lot of fans are saying, what are attacking patterns of play? How do we impose ourselves against the opposition? We don't.
Right.
We don't. That's the answer. And so that's why I think he likes Gallagher's, he likes Paulinho's, he likes Sar's, because they're very box to box, they're physical, they want to win that ball high up, they want to turn that ball over, and then off the back of that we can create chances. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You want to get the high turnovers.
You want to get the high turnovers in dangerous areas, win the ball up, be aggressive. That's the idea with Frank, in my opinion. So that's another way of chance creation. But rarely will you see us dominate a period of the game and say, like, we're knocking about, and then we find a gap, and then we pass, and then we create a goal like that. I haven't seen that this season.
Did you? Maybe it's a different type of game, but did you kind of see that against Dortmund? I mean, you were like
Europe's different. Europe, you get time and space. Then I'm talking about the Premier League, where it's relentless and intensity. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was reading an article actually on The Athletic, who we all love to read and watch, right? I thought I'd bring it up, right? It was saying something like, with Spurs, in terms of like fouls, we in terms of discipline, we get punished for the most amount of fouls in the league, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it says here, discipline has been one of the most frustrating issues during Tottenham Hotspur's turbulent campaign. It's cost them on Saturday when Christian Romero was sent off by the referee, Mike Oliver, 29th minute, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Tottenham have collected 67 cards this season, 4 more than any other side. Thomas Frank's side may feel grievance with the overall card total. They are booked once every 4.1 fouls, the lowest fouls per card ratio in the league. So I don't know. They're trying to say we got an agenda. I don't know. Is there an agenda against Tottenham? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I digress, bro. Sorry.
No. It makes, like, I was going to ask you a question, but literally as you was talking, I was thinking about obviously your press and what I would like to see if Eddie Howe had this moment of clarity. So some of our biggest issues in terms of is how to involve Voldemort. There was the last 5-10 minutes against Brentford where he literally just started playing in and around here. And I think it was Wissa and somebody else that went up front. What I'm thinking is, and why we might play Ramsey instead of Willock, for instance, is that Ramsey is a little bit more defensively, comfortable, exactly, back to goal, a bit more defensively minded. and it frees up Bruno to also go a bit higher up the
Forward of
right.
an 8.
Exactly. And Voltemada can go anywhere. Voltemada prefers to be here and then start like this. Like he prays, please don't start me here. Please don't start me here. Please don't start me here. Like literally.
Yeah, you could literally do third man passes with that, because you could pass it into one of the centre backs could pass it into like Ramsey. Ramsey could do a ball into Voltemada, and then he kind of breaks through our lines. So like for example,
that's what starts off the movements here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So if we set up in a Spurs were like in a 4-2-4, kind of mid block, that's how you basically bypass our midfield. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Dragoshin hasn't played that many games, innit? And I'm guessing he doesn't want to be running back to his goal. But if Gordon's in between him and Gray, that's going to be an issue. It's problem.
Going to be problems.
That's going to be an issue. So Voltemada jumping in, it's going to be like, that's going to occupy Paulinho. You know what I'm saying? Paulinho. Oh, actually, it's Paulinho. Yeah, Paulinho would be on the right side of I think Paulinho would be the right sided of the midfielder, and then Saul would be the left sided of the midfield. Yeah. So he would occupy him. And then that's when you'd see, like I said, it would free up space. If Paulinho's been taken out of the game, yeah, Gordon's got a free run in that half space, and he's able to run. It's just that down to Alanga, who hasn't really been on form, to get on the end of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm trying to think what other player, even Voltemada trying to get back for a cutback or something, arriving in the box a little bit later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's why for me, I would have preferred to have Barnes. I think Barnes is a better finisher than Alanga, but I get for the balance of your team, you kind of want Alanga there on that right-hand side. But I think he'll play Alanga. I agree. I think he'll play Alanga. I don't think he'll start with Barnes.
Yeah. I agree.
I'll have a lot of the ball as well, more of the ball. And so that's the transitional threat will be like really high for Newcastle. I think that's the best way for you guys to attack. No,
I agree. I think there's the one thing I'm a bit missed about, and I'll get your view on this, is that I'm looking at Bruno Gomes, right? He's our tempo maker, our ball control, our playmaker. Yeah. I was thinking, like from our build up at least, it's good to have Ramsey because he can bring it out as well. I don't know if I want Bruno here or I want Bruno here and Tonali here, mainly because if I want to break, you want the guys that got some pace and powerful running, you know, your Tonalis, your Gordons and the Langas. But if you get the ball, if you get a turnover quick, right? I don't want Bruno here in a 1v1 with Sarr and Simmons, or like even just not even 1v1, but like just here. I prefer Tonali. So I'm kind of stuck. And I think Eddie Howe's kind of stuck.
Tonali would be a bit deeper and Gomes would be the one that would be pushing on. But lately, I have seen Tonali floating a bit further forward. They're meant to interchange anyway. They're meant to take turns. They're not always meant to be.
Our rest defense has been awful recently. Like
horribly. Yeah. You're right.
And I wonder if
the other day, I remember Botman charged forward, got turned. Tonali was out of position, and then it was like, wow, there's acres of space to run into. The thing with Spurs, we don't have a lot of verticality, meaning we don't have a lot of runners in behind like you do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Really?
That's one thing.
You got Solanke, Sarr, no?
Solanke, yeah. Sarr, not really. Sarr has the profile to run in behind, but we haven't seen that much this season.
Right, okay.
All. We haven't seen that much this season. So, like, Odobert, for me, he's more like ball to feet kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's more like technical, 1v1, go on the outside, can go on the inside at times. He's that kind of guy. He's not a person that's going to curve his run or running behind like a Son, you know what I'm saying? Or Yanel, not Yanel, sorry, or like what's the Brentford player? Sade, Kevin Sade. You know, Kevin Sade is he runs in straight lines. They've got the body shape to run in straight lines. Odebert's more short, low center of gravity. Do you know what I'm saying? That type of winger. So I look at Solanke. He's the only one that I think can run in behind. Again, Simmons on the left. He's more of a playmaker. Another short player, likes the ball to feet, quick feet. You know what I'm saying? likes to cut across his defender and then get his head up and then make a pass. But in terms of players that run in behind, this is why our through balls are quite low, because we don't have that. Do you understand? Like I think one of your players might have more through balls than our whole entire team. That's how low our through balls are. It's crazy, bro. You know, we laugh, but it's
you
true.
were right. I remember you said to me, I said to you, oh, I like how Simmons is playing. You're saying you said to me, he delays his passes too much. And that's exactly what happened. I was watching him do that against Man. You broke on the transition. He just had to play the ball almost first time.
A little bit quicker, see a bit faster. Because in Europe, it's not a problem. You get more time, you can get your head up, you can play those positions, you can get your weight right. But because you're rushed here, he's overhitting passes, which like there was one chance when the ball broke and it was a transition, and I think Gallagher must have laid it into Simmons. Simmons, he's in the final third, he's breaking into the box against United. All he's got to do is pass it across the box.
I remember.
But he overhits it, and then Solanke has to go wide now, and then that chance kind of petered out. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
I remember that one. I remember that.
If he had less weight on that pass, Solanke gets there. But because he's rushed and he's still not got it. I've seen him do it a numerous amount of times, isn't it? And he's like our best player, bro, after Romero, in terms of like attacking third and, you know, controlling games. He's probably one of our better players. But Solanke's made a huge difference, I think, to him. Like him coming in.
Yeah.
He's been able to find someone. Do you know what I'm saying? He hasn't been able to do that.
Gets especially from opposition fans like us. I'm like, you guys, am I watching the same Solanke? Like I don't get it. Like I think he's a really, he's at that same mold as Calvert-Lewin, who also gets stick. But I'm like, man, we would love someone like that at the moment. All right. So before we just get to score predictions, I'm going to ask you two questions in one. Really, what would you like to see Frank do more with the team, and what do you think? With hopefully his moment of clarity, what would you like Eddie Howe to do more?
I would like to see Frank play, not live on those wings. I know, like, I haven't got a massive issue with you tacking down those sides, but you just can't live there. Sometimes play a little bit central, and also in build up, I think we're a bit predictable. And that's what forces the errors, because I think we've got the highest amount of turnovers in terms of build-up. We make the most mistakes in that defensive third. So I would like the build-up to vary a little bit, because we often do the same pattern down the same side, and that's normally our left-hand side. And then we tend to go long eventually because we're being pressed the hell out of. Do you know what I mean? And I think the automatic thing that we do is we try to go long straight away sometimes, and we end up losing the ball anyway because we were trying to force it into Solanke. And against Man United, no, against Man United, they knew that, and they paired Harry Maguire. They were like, stick on him because they're gonna go long. As soon as they go long, you know what I mean. Do what you need to do. Be aggressive, clatter him. Do what you need to do. Make it harder. Sometimes it would stick to Solanke, but sometimes it wouldn't, and we'd lose the ball. And we lose momentum, and then we're, you know, they're in our half again. Do you know what I'm saying? But my thing is sometimes we need to kind of mix it up. So I like my players a little bit closer. And I talked about those third man runs, those third passes, wall passes, little 1-2s, little things around. And you get that by playing smaller triangles or overloading the side, making a diamond, doing false runs, going one way, then if someone goes, you know, double, like fake your run, go one way than the other. And then, so there's little things you can do if coached properly. And I know we don't have a lot of time on the training pitch. I think that's another issue where we can't get together and say, look, this is how we're going to beat the press today. This is how we're going to work it. We're going to practice these drills, these little rondos. We're going to practice these. We're going to play a lot closer and then work our way out the press. And that could create a chance for us. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing I would change. And then the other question was about Eddie Howe, right?
Yeah. What would you like to see Eddie Howe do? Similar to the Frank question. Not like obviously do it against Tottenham, but like
in general. Yeah, I want him to take the handbrake off, similar to Frank, a little bit more. I'd say he's been very cautious this season, and there's a few players you could risk it with and see those combinations a bit more. I think you've got the team to go back to that kind of intense style that you were playing. You know, you've got that kind of profile of player where you can go a bit more intense and go a bit more attacking. As I said before, maybe have two up top. You know, maybe go that route. More than a 4-3-3, and that could throw oppositions off. So then you've got or like if 4-4-2 defensively, or sometimes it's a 4-2-4 in transition. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can play really direct. You can still do your long balls. You still attack in wide areas, but essentially you just got to play to your attacking strengths and not worry about the opposition so much. And I think you will get. I think in this league, especially, I can't remember the way I wanted to say it, but fortune favors the brave.
Right. He who does wins.
Exactly. To dare is to do. Whoops. I'm just saying. But yeah, I just look at, sometimes you got to look at what's in your squad and look at the profiles and just play to their strengths and not focus on the opposition too much. Because like every manager nowadays, they've all got the tactics. They've all got the same knowledge of, like, most managers. You might have your Peps that might have, you know, he overthinks and he's got an elite way of like attacking. We all know his DNA, we know his philosophy. But essentially, every manager, the level between like tactical, how to set up formations, whatnot, it's not much that different anymore. But the difference is the players that you have at your disposal and the instructions you give them on the day, because you don't want to overload them with too much information. Keep it simple and go for it. Do you understand? And then if you see it's not quite working, obviously you have to adjust in it. And that's where you get your tacticals in. Like, okay, they see it early. They're not afraid to change it. They're not afraid to kind of go for it. If it's 0-0, are they going to go for it for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour? How long does it take for them to make that aggressive change to kind of spin the game and turn the game on its head?
I agree. And like I was saying, I think like while I was talking about Eddie Howe going through the Arteta moment, I think, you know, like I said, Arteta was free-flowing football, then he became very mechanical and was getting lots of stick for it, especially when he won the league. I think for Eddie Howe, because after he had that season where, like, you know, intensity is our identity and everybody feared the life out of us, but then the collapse of injuries the following year, I think that's not good.
Just to piggyback on that, I think that Ange's intensity, we're still feeling it now. You see how you said intensity is your identity, and you had that in your first season, and then the following season, the effects. I still think the ricochet of what we did under Ange is still echoing throughout. Because people can't figure out, like, is it the training ground? Is it the pitch? Is it the amount of games? But everyone's got the same amount of games that in that top six. So why they got so many like mad injuries and Because Frank hasn't been that intense. Like, he's tried to like mix it up. He's tried to do what Howe's done in like mid block to low block, sometimes high press, sometimes man to man. He's been trying to tweak it. Like, he's trying. I can see it. But it's just like the injuries just keep on coming. And then people are like, oh, it's our medical department. I mean, we've changed it like 3 times. So it can't be that. It can't be the middle. If they keep firing and hiring and putting it on, what's it called, LinkedIn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be that, bro. Like, it's got to be something else. So I just think, as I said before, your issue is our issue in terms of squad depth, in terms of filling it with quality. So the drop off isn't crazy when you're trying to do those changes. I think that's more of an issue, in my opinion. But we know why you had that issue is because of PSR and and ABC and, you know, XYZ. But with all those acronyms. But just quickly before you finish up, I just wanted to answer Wobble Jog, sorry, in the comments. And he's like, Ash, I follow a couple French scouts and analysts, and they all speak highly of Odegaard and Tell. Some even a bit unhappy with their minutes at Spurs. Why aren't they getting more minutes since they joined? And I think they are happy with Odegaard. I think there's a conflict between the coaching staff and the club. So I think the club want to, and then also past there's academy issues as well, because we've got academy players where do you want to spend heavily on youth, and then that stagnates or blocks the pathway for some of the youngsters, because we've got a guy called Tina Thompson. He's meant to be, people are saying he might be better than Mikey Moore. That's how crazy they're going for him.
Right.
He wants to leave. He wants to leave. And everyone's getting upset. Oh, my days, youngers, They're not going to find a room, because we're invested in like Odebert and Tells. They're taken away from some of the academy's path routes. They can't see a way to get in. And then now with Odebert and Tell, remember Odebert ahead of him was we had the Ghanaian superstar Kudus. Kudus, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he was starting in that position, but before Tell and Odebert, they were fighting for one position on the left, because Tell sees himself as a striker, but Richarlison and Solanke and Moani are there. Do you understand? So that's where he wasn't getting any games, because there's not enough room in the Champions League and there's not enough room in the Premier League. So he's like the manager, I'm not a winger, I'm a striker. And they're saying, right, he's got attitude problems now, because he's demanding to play striker, in it. If they play left, no, I don't want to play left. Do you know what I'm saying? But essentially, Odebert, Tell, and then at the time, before Odebert and Tell was there, before they were there, but before that was an issue, Johnson was there. He sometimes played Johnson on the left. So then they had extra competition from Johnson. And then we also had, I can't remember, we started playing Bergvall. He changed the formation to 4-2-2, and Bergvall was playing ahead of him as a left winger. Crazy, isn't it? And then Xavi. He threw the whole baguette at him. Listen, he even had Xavi, because Xavi's playing left now, isn't it? So then now that's kind of stopped their way of getting into the team. So that's the reason why they're not getting in. And then when you deep it now, check this now. Guess how much goals Odebert's got this season? Because he's been playing. Have a guess.
How many games he played?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me find out. I know. He must have played at least 15, I'm gonna guess.
Okay. If he's played 15 games, I'm gonna give him 5 goals, 1 in 3.
He has played 9. He started 9 games, sorry. 23 apprentices and started 9.
Okay. How many
goals? Does that affect your?
Well, if it's 23 games and made 9 starts, the rest of them are appearances, I'll go for 6 goals, all comps.
Cool. 0.
Oh.
Yeah, 0. Yeah. 0.
Oh, you're not sharper then, bro.
That's the answer to your question.
Right.
Even though the fan base do feel positive about him and the coaching staff feel positive about him, it's the reason why we are where we are in the league, because you can't have like Solanke out and then Richarlison is there. I mean, and then you're looking at your left wing and they ain't got no goals. And do you understand? We've got
crazy.
But that's the reason. I hope that answers your question.
If you don't mind, I shall ask a few more chats, because there's a few questions for yourselves and matches. Is that all right? I don't know how much time you got. But quickly, I'll say again, Wilbur Jog says, hey Phil, Adrian, not the usual Mitch, not the usual Mitch, very deflated, no bass in his voice, seconding himself last minute. Daggers are devastating, I guess. You know what? That's what I tell you guys. I keep on saying, you guys feel I was born in the darkness, bro. You guys just adopted it, bro.
Bulletproof, baby.
No, I feel it, but it's just like
it bounces off.
Just have to firm it, bro. Thanks for sending your lineup, Aaron. He's gone for a Pope. Shah, you love Shah, goodness. Ciao, but fair play. How's gonna have to start something new? I like the idea, like of what we're saying. I think someone else mentioned actually what you were saying, Asher. Who was it? Yeah, I think Aaron said it. Work the ball centrally. Yeah, So it sounds like you're giving advice to Tottenham, but it's to Newcastle as well. Get Randers forward to Mada, yeah, and actually play to his strengths and bring Osola on in the 50, 60 minute if needed, and rest Hawthorne, Alex Murphy, even if Brentford. Yeah. Do you know what? I think 100% agree with you. Like, we can't do this controlled stuff. We're just not built for this control.
You're not there yet.
Not every team are built for this control stuff. Forget that. We're not doing it. You know what? Because I was going to get, yeah, because I was getting into the whole, because I'm watching Man City, I'm watching Arsenal, people saying we can't do what they do, you know.
We can't do it. We can't. We have to be real with ourselves.
We have to just accept it. I can't do what these men are. Oh, it's so boring, side to side. I'm like, you know what? I'll take some side to side right now. Rather than side to side, we miss hit us a pass and get a turnover. I'd love some side to side for a minute. I like this one. Obadrika says, Spurs like a CIA psyop. How does one remain sane with all these injuries on top of everything else going on in the club? If it wasn't for Deji, I would say, I would say give your Spurs fan mate a hug. They need it. Boy. Aaron saying he thinks Elanga should start the game. I think he probably will. Deserves to start ahead of Murphy, who wasn't good at all in the last game. I always keep on saying, I know people keep saying, Murphy's underrated. He is, but he's also limited. Like, I think people got this image in their head of he's down the wing and he's about to swing his right boot, and you know, yes, but outside of that, there's nothing, bro. There's nothing. Oh, big up to my man Harry. You can't.
Being here before, I tell you that, man.
Big up. God bless you, Harry Scarf. Good to see you. Big up to both. Warburton's players like Romero have a lot to offer, in my opinion. But I don't disagree with this, Ash. But are victims of their environment. I don't know about that. Maybe probably. Spurs is very unstable. If he was, I get it from actually. As an unstable environment, City, LFC, with Klopp, Arsenal, we wouldn't be speaking about him like that. Do you think that, Ash? Do you think that if he was in a more stable environment, we wouldn't be speaking about Mr. Romero because he wouldn't be so volatile? Yeah. Do you know what? The picture of Romero behind the seat like that with his tattoos
in a white vest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? I just think with Romero, his style of play always attracts attention, and it's all about timing. You know, if we're talking about the way he plays, the way he challenges, he makes challenges. If he gets there late, he kind of like, he's old school. He'll go through like with intention to get the ball. So whether it gets the ball or not, and it gets you as well, bruv, it is what it is. But I just think that's how it is. This is how he is as a player, as a person. He's all or nothing. He wears his heart on the sleeves. Yeah, he's that type of like warrior leader. You get your different, archetypes, different type of defenders, and he's one that he's proactive. That's what I call it, proactive. He's a proactive defender, and it's a funny one because you could be right in a team where, like we were saying, that has more of the ball, more possession. Maybe he hasn't got to be so proactive like that. He might be a lot more calmer. And you've seen his teammate Martinez. They hardly speak about it.
Yeah.
But if you watch Martinez, they're very similar in like when they're on the ball, they're like the kind of dictators. Yeah, they get the ball and they spray passes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then the midfield, if you notice, if you look at Man United, they're like the connectors.
He's got Kobe Mainu, and
exactly. We don't have a connector. Understand? But when he passes it forward, guess what happens? It comes back. So then now he's got to kind of compromise himself, and he's defending a lot more than he needs to or would like to. Understand?
Right.
And because the people ahead of him are doing his job, sometimes you see him do the hero ball thing. He'll come try to do everything himself. And sometimes when you try to do the most, and you do too much, you vacate your position. You can create more damage.
If you had Musa Dembele in your midfield, Romero would be.
If we had a Luka Modric in there, you know what I'm saying?
And then people are like, Romero, Romero, is he Van Dijk levels? He might get a bit of that.
It'll be a different story, right? But again, his reputation doesn't help. I think there is a brand of Romero that he can't shake off, and he's picked up a few unnecessarily yellow cards. And people forget he's a captain. He's allowed to talk to the ref, but the refs are like, they forget and they book him. Like, why are you talking to me? Go back. Where's the captain? Oh, snap! Too late. You're in the book. Yeah. So there was like 2 or 3 times he's being booked and he's spoken, but yeah, it's what it is, man.
It's prediction time, and I know I've took you over time as well. My apologies.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
First, I got kind of two questions in one. It is I want your prediction, but I also want to know, how do you think both teams actually approach the game? Because in my mind, I've got almost 2 extremes. Either it's going to be mad cagey, like we're both scared to death to concede,
you go or I go.
We might just want to shake hands at the beginning and say, "Oh, it's a draw, yeah, it's a draw, fam." Those kind of levels, yeah. Or it's going to be like a cathartic release for both teams, and we're just going to go hammer on Tonga. It's almost like whoever wins it, it's just going to be attack versus attack. And
interesting you say that, because you've got a game afterwards, haven't you, on the weekend?
I think Villa FA Cup, but those are you.
Yeah, we haven't. We got knocked out by Villa. Yeah, you laugh. But watch this now.
It's the way you said it. It's like.
Yeah, but watch this now. We ain't got nothing to lose. Do you get it? Or we got less. Well, no, we haven't got nothing to lose.
Bro,
we got everything to lose. We've got everything to lose. But we don't have that extra game. We've got 12 games until Arsenal. Yeah. So we can risk it more, if that makes sense. Whereas you've got to think about the next game. Do you have that? Like, if you had 12 games as well, would you come out different? Would your match game be different? Would your intensity be different? What's he going to prioritize? What's going to keep fans happy? What's going to keep his job? Him winning against Tottenham,
he has to,
or him in the cup, progressing past Villa.
The way if you asked me this before the press conference, I would have answered it and said to you, he has to plan for the next game.
All right. I saw that press conference a lot.
I saw that press conference. I'm like, oh, you saw it as well? I didn't realize you saw it, so I would have asked you. I didn't realize you watched it.
Yeah, I saw it, bro. I saw it. I watched it.
I didn't get to ask. What did you think of it?
Look, it's night and day compared to my manager. That's all I can say. My manager was like, well, the first 30 minutes, I thought we played quite well. I thought we were in the game. And if you look at Man City, no one talk about Man United. No, but you have to look at Man City because, the last, and he drinks his Arsenal cup. The last second half, I feel we played well. I think he's been doing well in the halves.
This is
Whereas your guys like, this ain't good enough, brother. We need
yeah.
You see the 2 differences. You see the contrast. I'm like, look at this company, man. This absolute snitch. This is another form of
it's dynamic play. He might be saying he might not be doing a Ten Hag, it's dynamic, but he's doing another form of this is dynamic. And for the audience who don't know what I'm talking about, there was an interview with Ten Hag last season. I can't remember who Man United played. I can't remember who it was, but their goal was peppered. Like they received like 20 shots on goal, like 25. They got peppered.
Yeah.
They asked Ten Hag, how do you feel? What have you got to say to fans who are upset that they've had like 20 shots onto their goal? Because we're a dynamic team. That's what he said. We're a dynamic team. When I saw that, any defense I had for Ten Hag evaporated the moment he said that. I said, okay, you're next level.
Yeah, you were trying to drown in that Titanic.
No. Your next level. So now I'm calling that. I don't know. We've got to get us when I don't know what you call that, but I just call it dynamic whenever that happens. All right. So yeah, if you asked that question before the Howe press conference, I would have said, yeah, we might.
I respect Howe for it. I respect him. I said, yeah, you know what? At least he's acknowledged publicly and to his players and to the fans, more importantly, because the fans need to know. Because there's one thing like people say, you should do it behind closed doors, you should be private and have your affairs. But I think him doing it publicly allowed the fans to say, look, at least he acknowledges where he is and what he needs to do to kind of move forward. Like, at least he knows there's a problem. Like, half the problems, like admitting that you have a problem, you know. AA, you know what I mean? Ox Frank, you know what I'm saying? The other Frank, I mean. So the fact that he's not in denial and he's accepting, you know, acceptance, that's what they call it, acceptance.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
that
That's
he
it.
could
First
look
stage
at
of grief.
himself.
First stage
Yeah.
of grief.
And he's asked a question to the players as well. He's calling the players. He's holding himself accountable and the players as well, which I like. So then that means they're going to sit down. They're going to talk about it. They're going to thrash it out. Everyone's going to say their piece. Man, them are going to call out each other. He's going to call out them people. And then the air will be cleared, isn't it? I prefer it like that. I prefer you to, like, if you've got a problem, let's say it. Let's don't harbor it. Don't keep it hold of it. Don't brush it under the carpet. Say what needs to be said. Address it. And then if you're not living up to your bargain, that when we sat down, we cleared the air, then I can call you out for it. So you said that you're going to do this. And, do you know what I mean? Because I think the managers have to sit down, give clear instructions. And if those instructions aren't being executed, then the manager can look at himself and say, maybe this particular player, I haven't handled him well. So he can put accountability on himself and the style of his coaching. Is he coaching that player appropriately? Because some players, like, I remember, ironically, Michael Carrick was interviewing Thomas Frank on TNT. He would have thought, eh? He listened to him and he stole his tactics and beat him. Anyway, I'm joking. Now, he was like, different managers, different players, they like different things. They like more instructions, they like less instructions. Some people like, and he said to Carrick, like, what are you like? And Carrick was like, I'm the type of person, don't overload me with information. Like, tell me what I need to do. Maybe the defensive side of things, let me know. But then when it comes to like the in-game, I don't want to know too much. I just want to be able to play my game. And that's how I like it. And he goes, he had other teammates, they wanted to know everything, like to the T. They wanted to know where I should be on the pitch, which way should I face, who am I linking up with, so, and they were talking about at the time, do you prefer to know your lineup a day before or 2 days before? That's what they were talking about. And that's why he was talking about different personalities and do you understand? So yeah, coming back to that point, I think it's better the way like Howe's addressed it. I prefer that. I respect it more. And especially you've got a character like Romero now. He obviously undermined the club, whatnot. Talking on social media, not once but twice. And they came out the first time and he said, oh, he's not going to do it again. And he's done it again anyway. So then he's undermined him. But then Frank's still gone like, no, it's cool, man. We spoke, you know, it's fine. What? Like, what? And then you start to think back at the Spence situation with the Van der Ven, and you're like, has he really got a hold of things?
Do you let one thing go?
Like that little gap. Like, you see what I'm trying to say? So, but look, I'm not behind closed doors. It doesn't mean that, you know,
he's not. Yeah, he might be giving them the hairdryer treatment, but
he might be exactly. We just don't know. But we'll find out. We'll find out what we play you guys. So you want me to give a prediction, right?
So just what you said about just on a one-to-one. That's why I'm so curious to see what our style lineup is going to be. Like, I haven't got a clue, because when you were having that face-to-face talk, like it's just me and you now, it's going to be real. He might hear some stuff that is beyond. No, how do I say it? Like, it's a criticism, but it's like, you're not really. You probably don't like me. Like, you like this. You're not even here for the team. Like, you know, you've checked out. Like, I didn't even clock this, but you've actually checked out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's what I reckon with like, see that the Tell situation where he left them out of the Champions League squad twice.
Yeah.
And Tell wanted to leave in January. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not happy here. I want to be striker. Spoken to Paris FC. Their coach said, I can play striker. Let me go. You're not playing me. Let me go. You're not starting me. He's not starting. He's not starting. So he's like, brother, if I'm not starting, why am I here? Like, just let me go. Let me live my life. You know, it's like one of them guys hanging on. Bro, like, I want to see other things, innit? Allow me, innit? You know what I'm saying? She's holding on.
My life.
Holding on. Listen, so there's that side of things. And then Spence, I don't know if he really, I don't know, man. I get that vibe from Spence. He don't really rate him. I don't know. From little things that I've seen and I picked up on, I just...
Spence
know.
needs like someone to grab him by the shoulders, like that type of thing. He might pretend like he
Yeah,
don't like
a lot of
it.
them do. Romero probably as
Yeah.
well. I think Romero
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
a little, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
reckon
yeah,
Romero bads him up. What do you say? Oh, you know, like I reckon Romero's riding up the team.
When they see each other in the corridor,
Like this.
when they see each other walking towards the corridor, Frank looks away like that.
Besides tapping his pocket, what you got for me? Though? You got for me, bro. Hey, that's madness. I could be wrong though. I'm ramping.
We hope to be wrong. We
I hope
to be
that
wrong.
Frank's got it all under control, and you know we're gonna see green shoots. That's my thing right now. Green shoots.
But Frank, I feel like you might get a starting lineup that you probably predict.
From
what was in about Howe, I honestly don't have a clue.
I was like that before the injuries, but the more injuries you get, the easier it is to predict because
it's got options.
You've got less choice, isn't it? There's less decision making to make. You can't play a back three. You have to play a back four. Out of the four, you got these fullbacks available. Then the midfield picks itself because you ain't got no midfielders. Your strikers are out, so then you have to play those strikers. There might be one or two forward, left or right. Might be a little bit different. Like, it could surprise us and put Tell on, I don't know, or Moani. Actually, he could rest Solanke. Sorry, he could rest Solanke and put Moani. But Moani's a funny character, man. He's being funny, man. He's being dodgy from a while back. I don't know if you've seen that dressing room thing when he's in the dressing room. I don't know if you've seen that.
No. What happened?
You ain't seen that video?
No. What happened? Just
with himself. You not seen that? In the French squad. Oh
gosh!
Remember that?
Saliba, the Saliba one.
Yeah, bro, he's weird, man. Yeah, I don't rate that, man. Listen, this is why you can't never back no players, bro. You just don't know what they're on.
You just don't know what's going on.
I don't have no favorites.
You don't know. You don't know. The change room still that craziness. Nah, bro. Like I can't talk to this guy.
Nah, bro. Nah, he's
all right.
Key.
Give us your predictions, and folks. Ash, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be scouting Curtis Jones after this. So don't leave us on that. Ash is gonna leave us, or I don't know if you want to do Curtis Jones scouting with us. Feel free to. But
could do 5 minutes. I'll do 5 minutes, Curtis Jones.
Yeah. Whatever you can spare. You can just leave whenever you can. Yeah. Give us a prediction. Give us a prediction for the game anyway. And
all right. I was gonna sit on the fence and say a draw, but that's boring. It's boring. I'm gonna go for a Thomas Frank win. I'm gonna cause an upset. Why not? I'm feeling like the more I say it, the less I believe it. It's crazy. Who am I kidding here? The more I say it, the less I believe it. This is wild. Oh my God. But yeah, we've got a horrible home record, but no Romero to call him out. You know what I'm saying? So he won't be nervous at half time. And Newcastle's form is horrible at the moment. 1 win in 8.
Yeah.
Your away record is horrible as well.
Yeah.
Intensity is no longer your identity. You're missing Joe Linton as well. I think Kieran Trippier is the key. I think if he plays, we have to be on Tim Makarash. Xavi has to go in and just take advantage of that. Just take him inside. And then Spence has to also be quite aggressive as well. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Spurs win. And the narrative of the Spurs fan base is going to change again. And there's going to be some hopium about Frank. Even though all the murmurs are about Poch coming back right now, they can't get enough. But if we do lose, be ready to hear, it's magic, Hey, trust me, they're going to be singing his name.
I can see that. I can see it from that point of view. I'm gonna go with. I think it's like I said, it's between it being a very cagey match to being an all-out. Like let's go for it. I'm gonna hope for an all-out. Let's go for it. That we're gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. We're gonna try. At least we're gonna try and return to the identity that we had before. It might play into Spurs' hands or not. I haven't got a clue.
You need to do something.
We need to do something. We cannot do this. We cannot be doing.
Like,
Yeah. We can't do the same. Like, no matter what the stat, it's like forget XG. Like, I'm like, I have to put up today. I put away the XG as well.
All I can think of is Ian Beale. You know, Ian Beale's just balling on the sofa.
Yeah. We have to change something. So what I think we're gonna go. Like, I think Spurs will respond to that as well. I think the crowd will respond to that. I think it's gonna be a heck of a game.
Apparently, though, we're not able to sell out our game. Normally, we sell out our game. There's been issues.
Really?
Yeah, there's been. So if you want to go to the game, cuz someone tried to sell me a ticket for £30.
£30?
I didn't even take it. Imagine £30. I'm expecting.
What tell me? I would have sat in the Spurs end, just like.
Yeah, you can sit down, get a nice view. So you can see the whole of the game. You can just see the shape and everything. Wow. Yeah, man. But yeah, I'll let you know, man, if anything comes up.
Appreciate that. So Ash is going for a 2-1. I'm gonna go for 4-3.
Jeez! I'm gonna go in the last 61 games, this fixture is the most played fixture, and there's not been a 0-0 in 61 years.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a 0-0 on this one. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked and disappointed. I think it's gonna be a 4-3. It's going to be a 4-3. Something's going to happen in this game.
If it's a 4-3, I'm excited. That's good.
Yeah, it's going to be. You're going to see. I think you're going to. I hope to see for the nostalgia merchants. I think there's going to be 1990s Barclays situation.
I would love that.
So, folks, you've got your predictions there. Ashford, he'll be able to stay on for at least 5 minutes or so while we do the scouting. I will get to the apologies I haven't got to the chat, but I'm mindful of time, but please do keep sending them in. Like, I see so many good questions, especially a lot of funny ones. What Wobble 2-1 Spurs, Wobble Jug. Wobble Jug. I was just about to big you up and then I saw your prediction.
He's on my happy.
Broski. Oh my word. Right. So, and as some of you have guessed, I am looking at Curtis Jones' profile. Now, the source did come from yahoo.com and I posted it and people went absolutely ballistic because part of the reasoning is that both Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali have been talked about for a summer sale, potentially if we don't get to the Champions League. My personal opinion is that their agents are doing overtime to let people know that, hey, if things ain't right on this side, we go on, baby. So I'm more accepting this year that these things can happen than I was last year. Last year was a teacher. Life was a teacher. So this year I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna run through some of the stats just quickly better because I'm really, really keen to get Ash's
Tonali to Liverpool. So I didn't see that. I didn't know that. I thought it was Arsenal. Now, there's a rumor about Tonali, Graham Bailey, in it, saying Sandro Tonali is representative joined the list of clubs interested. Liverpool made contact. I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah. Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal.
Oh, they're all coming.
Yeah. So it's all there. Jeez. So this is a good time to talk about Curtis Jones. So, as folks know, I've got his stats of FBref, and I missed the old FBref because they took away the other stuff. So this is some of the stats from 24, 25. It's a mixture of that kind of stats there. I showed the rankings first. I wanted to get his rankings amongst Liverpool midfielders because obviously that's within his team before we kind of looked outside. But essentially, here's the first thing is number one, ball retention and security. Feel free to interrupt at any point, Ash, but essentially ball retention and security, pass completion. So he ranks number one, 99 percentile at Liverpool, not across the world before anybody says anything. It's at Liverpool for ball retention. So he's number one compared to Alex McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch. So he is very much a high security, a high progression type of midfielder. arguably their most press-resistant midfielder, if you look at that stat alone. He also ranks second for progressive carries. Obviously, number one is Ryan Gravenberch. And he's ranked second for progressive passes. Ryan Gravenberch is first by some distance. So Gravenberch is Liverpool's most dynamic progressor. However, Jones is remarkably close in carries, outperformance McAllister moving the ball into the final third. Defensive impact. Curtis Jones again ranks number one at Liverpool for tackles. So significantly higher than his peers. You can tell that Ryan and Alexis are the more advanced midfielders. They're there to progress the ball. They're there to take risks. Whereas Mr. Curtis Jones is there to kind of hold it down essentially and be keep possession. Touches in opposition penalty area. Again, Mr. Curtis Jones is number one for that. For Liverpool, and shot creating actions, Ryan Gravenberch. So Gravenberch creates more shooting opportunities for teammates. Jones is actually the most likely to be found inside the box himself. So he's in the 95th percentile ranking for box touches. Shows how he operates as a shadow striker at times as well. So essentially, amongst Ryan, amongst Alexis, he is first for pass completions, and I think that's more to do with the fact that he's more safety first rather than him like being like a Iniesta type of player. He's more kind of a safety first, while the other two are more to do with taking risks with the ball. He ranks second for progressive carries. He ranks first for tackles per 90, and he ranks second for touches in the opposition box. Now, Tonali and Bruno. Bruno obviously is more the orchestrator for our team, while Sandro Tonali is the engine room. So you're going to see Tonali kind of more ranking in progressive carries, tackles. Bruno more 95th for progressive passes as well. This is obviously amongst Newcastle players. So there are two elite kind of midfielders. We hope to keep them over the summer, but it's going to be a long summer. When comparing to Curtis Jones to Newcastle top midfielders, so Jones is statistically more safer with the ball with his feet. He's 99th percentile, so he's less risky with the ball. Defensive work rate, Jones outperforms both. That's a bit surprising to me. I think that's probably because Jones plays less games. I'll be surprised if his work rate is that much higher, but he tackles more essentially. Box to that, Jones is more aggressive at getting forward, ranking in 95th percentile for touches in the opposition area. Well, it might be because he also plays for Liverpool. And this is taken from their Premier League winning season as well. So the verdict is, while Bruno is a superior long passer, Curtis Jones is a superior ball retainer and defensive presence. And you can see it here when he ranks amongst them. He is got the higher pass completion. He's good with his progressive passes, while the other two are elite and good. Progressive carries, he's pretty much elite. The other two are good. Tackles per 90, 88. The others are kind of average compared to him. Shot creation actions and touches in opposition box. So I kind of whizzed through that. But before you go, Ash, what's your views on Curtis Jones? What's your views on what you think he can or can't do, and potential Tonali and or Bruno exits?
I think that Curtis Jones likes to play on the front foot. He's that type of player, and that's what shows in his metrics and his statistics. I would say that if I want to talk about his weaknesses, physicality would be one of them. Mm-hmm. So although it said his physicality numbers were quite high, when I do watch him off the ball, I think that's the reason why he hasn't been playing as many games as maybe Szoboszlai, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Szoboszlai's been picked over him, and there's been times where I feel they play Szoboszlai McAllister and Gravenberch, and then they play Jones as well. But the reason why they play all four of them is because he lacks those components to kind of control in this type of environment in the Premier League. I think in Italy or in Spain, even Germany, he might be able to, he'll get more time on the ball and be able to do what he needs to do. But he works better in the attacking thirds. He's not someone that's going to pick the ball up and be able to dictate and control the game. And they call it in Spain for the tacticals, they call it pausa. He's not a person that would slow the game down and then pick a pass, which is 30 or 40 yards in the other direction. Even though his long balls aren't bad, if you look at his actual long ball accuracy, it's decent. But I always look at how frequently do you do it? Do you do it at a rate where, you know, you can affect games? Is it like 3 or 4 per game or 2 per game or even 1 per game? He often prefers to use short passes as a connector, but he likes to do that higher up the pitch as opposed to in a defensive third when he's taken off the fullback, centre back. Can do it, as I said, but again, you've got Gravenberch there. Maybe that's the reason why I don't see him as I see him more as an attacking midfielder, liking to carry the ball in those areas, in those tight spaces, or do those little quick 1-2s, you know, little wall passes or passes around the corner, third man runs, etc. He's more that kind of guy. But again, as I said before, I think when it comes to, because you did mention that he's in the box quite a lot, and then because he's in the box quite a lot, I expect his goal numbers to be a lot higher, but they're not. He hasn't got good return in terms of how many goals he's got, and I think the reason being is because when it comes to shot selection IQ, I call it shot selection IQ, sometimes he goes for power too much and he's a bit predictable in the way he wants to shoot. So lots of defenders cotton onto when he's going to pull that trigger and are able to block his shots. He needs to put a lot more disguise on his shot and add a bit more variety to some of his shooting to become that next level. He's a class player, but to get to that next level, I think that's what's missing from his game. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think he will improve your team. But yeah, if you're losing a Tonali who's an engine, that's where you're probably not going to get that same physicality out of him. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's my only issue with him. Bruno, again, he's not an awkward. He's not the person who's going to, you know, dictate tempo. So
like an in between, like he's almost
like an in between. Yeah, he's like an in between. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I can't take it away from him. He's a top player. I would love him at Spurs. I think he'd do well at Newcastle, and I rate him more than Gallagher. But Gallagher is more of an engine. It's like styles make fights, and he's a different 10 to what a Gallagher is a 10 because he's more cultured on the ball than what Gallagher is. But I think managers like Gallagher because the way Gallagher out of possession will win that ball back for you, the way he presses, the way he covers ground, and he can lead the press, whereas Jones is not. That's not his game. Do you get it?
If Newcastle are seriously looking at Jones, and because you kind of described a different type of midfielder than what we're used to, do you think that's a direction into they're looking into a different direction of style of play, or it's not that quite that far? Like it's.
I think it's about what's available because I think he was meant to sign a contract, wasn't he? And he wants north of 200 grand per week. And it's whether Liverpool decide to give him that. It depends if Slot's going to be there or who their new manager is going to be. If they want that player there, what they can use him, what they can do with him, and it depends on where he wants to play. Because I think he wants to be the main man at Liverpool, but they've got quality there, and he's not always the main man, so that's why he gets left on the bench there. And I ask Liverpool fans all the time, "What do you think, Curtis Jones? What do you think? He's one of your own. Like, what do you think of him?" And sometimes you get the whole, sentimental because he's one of their own answers. And then sometimes you hear some of the fans say, I would like him to be somewhere else just to see if he'll do a little bit better. A bit like Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott, he's gone to Villa.
Yeah.
Not all fans are rating him, but the manager hasn't fancied him for whatever reason. Yeah. So it's one of those kind of main character syndromes. That's what you're getting with Curtis Jones. He thinks he deserves to be on a higher wage. He deserves to be starting, and he wants to be a 10. He doesn't want to be a 6. Does not want to be a 6. You might get him in an 8, but that's about it, mate. And that's my analysis, guys.
Well,
thanks for having me on. I've got to shoot.
Ash, thank you so much. Folks, he was meant to stay here till 9, but he's here nearly to 10. So God bless you, Ash. Let folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, Spurs Kings TV. If you want to hear more like meltdowns and stuff, confusion, look no further, man. Listen. I literally get bored and I was like, how can I entertain myself? I know. I'll start a YouTube channel and just create a whole heap of palaver. No, but more time we're trying to break down the game. You know what I mean? I tried to break down the game. We have like civil. I tried to keep it football. That's what I actually tried to do. I tried to have real football conversations. 100%. And I think that's why people F of me a little bit. But man, big up to Toon Tactics. He said to me as well, like, he said, Ash, this year I'm going hard 2026. Pause if I have to. I'm doing 2 videos a day. Yeah. 7 days a week. I said, bro, is that you get on to 2 videos a day? Yeah, man. He said he's gonna up the levels, like getting you more content than usual. So big up to Tactics.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Take care, Ash, man. Have a good one.
Peace and love.
Folks, stay on with me. I'm gonna finish up the chats. Do let me know what you guys are thinking. Again, big up to Ash, man. Stayed way over time. Let me know, guys, if you want me to play maybe I might play the Eddie Howe press conference video. If you guys are going to hang with me for another 20-25 minutes, let me know, and I'll cover the press conference video. There's at least one section, not all of it, obviously, but there's one section on it. Wobble says people are saying Ten Hag is still talking about and disputing Ganacho offside when we beat them 3-1. Yeah, that was crazy. Aaron Kemp says Eddie has been gaslighting the fans for months and blaming everyone but himself. So it was good for him to take the same accountability. He needs to do more. It's fair. That's your opinion there. I hear what you're saying, Aaron. I know you've been on to him for a while. Big up and God bless my man James. Good to see you. Oh, you're talking to Aaron there. Sorry. Well, good to see you, James. Good to see you. I think I saw this prediction. Shambles, I think Agent says 2-1, a dismal shambles of a match, but we squeak it. Okay, so you think we'll squeak it? Yeah. Aaron says Curtis Jones and Eddie Howe signing. Probably. That's also why I want a new manager. Need to move away from these Prem-proven players and take into Europe for more technical players. Come on, man. We've got technical players all over the gaff. Yeah, Wilbur, I'm not going to read that bad prediction from you, man. Come on, man. No, I'm joking. Wilbur predicts 2-1. Aaron says, watching Rayan score and assist in 2 games last has made me depressed with our recruitment and scouting. James says, who trusts Yahoo? Not many. What I've learned is that not many people trust Yahoo at all, James. Aaron says, oh, lost the message a little bit there. Aaron says, Graham Bailey has never got anything right in relation to Newcastle. If Sandro leaves, he probably goes abroad. He hasn't got things right, but to be fair to him, I remember like last January, he was talking about Isak on the Loaded Mag, and he was saying, listen, you guys need to secure that contract real quick. Like he was one of the first people I heard like really pressing that point that we're mucking around. We need to get him on the contract real quick. And he got proven right. And he was one of the earliest people I heard talking about that, to be fair to him. James says, I would like us to stay away from Premier League players. To be honest, we need to look abroad, or even Samderworld. What's Samderworld? Maybe Mr. Tell me, guys, why do you want to go abroad so much? Like, I don't mind. Like, in fact, Eddie Howe has bought more players from abroad than he has from the Premier League. Botman, Tonali, Bruno Gomes, Malik Chow. I'm going from left to right, right to left. Voltamada. Who's on the left? Who's in the center forwards? I've got at least 5 namers there. Probably more. I think there's more from somewhere. Yeah, so he's not like, he's got a lot more players from abroad than we give him credit for, I think. Excuse me, 950. Joe Willock, Adrian says Joe Willock, Jacob Ramsey, Curtis Jones. Are we doomed to mop up bench? You guys are proper not feeling. You guys are proper not feeling it. Fair enough. Big up to you, Adrian. James says, agree. Adrian, I want us to move away from Premier League and buy abroad in Europe, Samba, or even where is Samba? And even the Championship. Find these unique talents that we can break the table and grow into something unique. You're right, Adrian. We wouldn't be paying north of, but we wouldn't be paying Curtis Jones north of 200,000. But there's something else that Ash said to that, which is Curtis Jones wants to be the main man, and he wants to be able to play in a number 10 role. I wonder if Eddie Howe can offer him the other two, that Curtis Jones would be a bit more amenable to the wage, right? So he'd probably fall into our wage structure. If Eddie Howe says to him, you'll be at the very least an advanced midfielder, and you'll be starting, would you take 160k? Because right now he's on 50k, right? Right now he's on 50k. Like even 160 is trebling his wages. So let me know what you think about that. James says, I think it's a lose-lose. I think that's a reference to Curtis Jones, right? And Aaron says, we already have Jacob Ramsey, in my opinion, is the same profile as a Curtis Jones. No, because Jacob Ramsey is more of a left 8, in my opinion. And that's what he plays, a playmaking left 8. Curtis Jones is, from what Ash says, he wants to be a 10 and a creative 10. Even though he's got like really kind of, and not a 6, even though he's really good, even though he's quite safe with the ball. So I kind of had him as a more, perhaps as a controller of the short passes and everything else like that. So there's elements that, like the similarities to Jacob Ramsey, but he doesn't want to be doing the defensive work as much. He's not, perhaps they're similar, but we'll see. I think there's some differences. Yeah, it is always a pleasure to listen to Ash. Absolutely. Big up Ash for great analysis. Thanks. That's Aaron and Adrian there. I agree with you guys. Absolutely. He is top dollar. Ashmatic, absolutely top dollar. James says the Premier League has tripled in price. The price is always going up in the Premier League. Aaron says Prem players are too expensive and you get more for your money abroad. All our expensive, excuse me, Premier League players are too expensive and you get more for your money abroad. All your best signings have come from abroad. Are too expensive and you get more from abroad. All our best signings but that means also that Eddie Howe buys from abroad, because a few of you guys were saying, let's go abroad. This Eddie Howe's like, just proven prayers, and literally they say that, but then at the same time you're saying all our Prem players are great. But yeah, that's Eddie Howe that like so I don't know, like I think Eddie Howe's doing well getting players from abroad and is doing well from getting players in the Premier League. So I don't mind it when people say he's an Eddie Howe type of player. I'm like, oh, that's good. More time, that's proven to be good for us. Like if people say that's a Ten Hag type of player, that's worrying. Right? That's worrying. James says South America, the world is Samba. Oh, right. Okay. Well, we've got a scout now in America as well. South America. So I've learned something new there, James. Thank you for that. So hopefully we get more players from there as well. And we've got 2 South American stars already, Joe Linton and Bruno Gomes. Wobojoke says, by that logic, EPL players are expensive. It's better to sell Tonali to an EPL club to get the most for him instead of going abroad. No? Yeah, you really want him, don't you? Wobojoke. Man. Oh, jeez. This transfer window. I'm already like, I wish he didn't do that. I understand why he did it, for his own personal thing. but I wish he didn't do it now. Goodness gracious me. Aaron says, I'd rather go for Konstantinos Karestas and take a gamble on someone with a higher ceiling than Curtis Jones. Fair play, fair play. And I have to look him up. Aaron Kemp says, I don't give Eddie the credit. I give the credit to Steve Nixon and our scouting team, who sealed the deal for players like Bruno and Botman. But then when we get the Premier League players, why does Eddie Howe get the blame for that? Why doesn't Steve Nixon get the blame for that? Because he's also doing the scouting. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think we can have it both ways, in my opinion, Aaron. It's either one or the other, if we're going to give him credit or not. And we all know that Eddie Howe he himself said, I got the final say on players. And I think we talked about it before. I do think Steve Nixon, he does obviously the eye test, if you can call it that. His nephew, Andy Howe, goes on the data. And I've obviously got the young, I forgot the gentleman's name. Is it Sad? That does a little bit more on the technical side as well, data side. But ultimately, and it wasn't even Eddie Howe that just said it. There was that interview, I think I've showed before, of another, I think it was an agent. I can't remember if it was an agent or another agent or like football coach who worked with Howe, and he said, there's no one else that actually identifies and looks at players like the way Eddie Howe does now, like into to the level to the detail that he does. And ultimately, it's Eddie Howe that seals these signings as well. So, we've got to give him credit for whether you give for as much as you give credit for Bruno, we'll give him credit for Elanga or someone else that hasn't worked out essentially. Though I think with Elanga, it's a bit, like I said, I'm willing to give him another year or so before casting like a final definitive judgment. But I just know that a lot of people aren't feeling Elanga at the moment, so that's why I used it. Robert Jog says, I actually don't want him. It's Miley or bust for me. But I tell you what, if we sell either Bruno or Tonali, there's no way on earth we're selling Miley. Absolutely no way on earth. James says the Genk kid looks amazing. I think I know who you're talking about as well. Right. I'm going to leave that Eddie Howe video for now, that press conference. We've all seen it. Like I said, I've kind of watched it definitely watched it twice. Twice. Or I thought about it, certainly. The first time I heard it, I said to myself, it sounds like a moment of clarity, essentially. In fact, I'm talking about it now. Let me just play a bit of it. I'm talking about it now. Let me show you the part that if I find this video, Eddie Howe. Oh, let me see if I find it. Let me just see if I can find it and get, this is how you know I love you guys, because I think this is important, and I really want to get you guys' views on this is really, really important. I'm really kind of keen to get what you guys. Now, obviously, I'm not going to play the whole video. I got a timestamp on my head, but I didn't write it down. I don't know what we're going to hear at the moment. I don't know what we're going to hear here. So just bear with me. But this was even look, I didn't realize Ash had watched the video. Otherwise, I would have asked him right at the beginning, but I didn't realize that Ash had watched the video. But he watched the video and he said, listen, and he said he wishes Thomas Frank was this candid, was this honest, and held himself accountable. And like I said, this is, like I said to Ash, I said, look, it's either one of those videos that's like a moment of clarity, and the buck stops here. On the other hand, when I listen back to it, it's the type of conversation you have before you resign. But if the results continue to slide, right, that's the next. that's the next step. So let me know what you guys think. I've got this time in my mind. I can't remember why. I don't know what we're going to hear, but I think this all plays into it. So I want to get you guys' views on it anyway.
The performance wasn't at the level that we want it to be, to accuse the players of that. But obviously I see a different.
Right. So I think this is the part where they're talking about, the journalist asked him about whether he felt people accusing the players not giving their all. He's answering that question. He doesn't think that's the case, but he does add a caveat to that.
A different side. I see the preparation. I see the players in every moment, and I sort of get the feeling. I've had groups that you would question their honesty. I'm not sat here always saying the same things. Not necessarily here, because I think we've had some unbelievable teams, and the squad now I think is really, really strong in terms of psychology. But we have to answer those questions, and the only place to do that is on the pitch. So
hence the Tottenham game.
If there are suggestions that people felt that we didn't execute everything or leave it all out on the pitch, then we have to take that on the chin. But the only way to respond is on the pitch, and to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable to the highest standards.
Thank you, Greg.
So that's him talking about the players, and he's saying, "Yeah, look, we've all got to hold ourselves accountable for sure." There was a part I wanted to see.
Eddie, what do you do next at centre forward? Because if you revisit,
so that's the centre forward stuff. Let me see.
The solution that we like. We've got new players.
Maybe it's towards the beginning. Let me just see.
And of course, we need to be more clinical the other way. I think Gordon, we'll make a check on today and see how he's progressing.
Gordon and
I can't believe I'm asking this of a bloke.
So Gordon is fit, which is good.
Who came back 6-7 weeks after you had pneumonia towards the end of last season. But is this?
So I think this might be the beginning of it. So I forgot the gentleman's name. He's a good journalist. I forgot his name. He's about to ask a question around this. This is one of your toughest moments. So it's interesting to see how answers this.
It's one of the toughest periods for you here at Newcastle.
So is this one of the toughest periods for you at Newcastle? He takes a look, considers it.
So far.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I was a bit surprised by that, because he's had some tough moments at Newcastle. This is what kicked it off for me. When this is when my ears pricked up. Actually, now that it's flooding back to me, when he said yes, I think so. You remember when he first started, when we lost to Cambridge last season, when we lost like 5-6 games in a row. Even when he first started, we still didn't win after he took over. We had after 10 games or so, we still hadn't won until that last minute free kick. Not last minute, but like that free kick from Shelby. But he says this is probably the toughest period he's had. He said that this is the toughest period he's had. So this is what pricked my ears, and I wanna see why.
I think any time when you're not getting the results that you want, I don't think performances have been particularly bad statistically.
Oh, here we go.
We're still pretty strong in every game, and
it's true. I know people don't like to hear that, but this is the part where we haven't. So he says the results have not been going our way. Fact. And he's trying to explain why, and this is it. But we haven't been playing particularly bad. Stats back this up, right? And we've talked about it in the last show, for instance, right? When we say this isn't like a get out of jail card. This isn't anything like that, because Eddie Howe's not acknowledging, like, despite the stats, despite Newcastle not playing too badly, no matter what I say, no matter what it is, the end of the day, the results have not been going our way. And like I've said in the last show, as an indicator, I was saying to Ash, I just use it as an indicator. Everyone's got, if somebody will say, forget the stats, look at the eye test. Everyone's got different ways of how they view football, right? But this is the part where I do. This is partly how I view football, what I see, and a combination of data, right? We used XG, so created chances, and XGA, created chances against, as a indicator with the results in our last show. Please do look it up if you want to. Essentially, we did a multiple trend graph where it showed that if Newcastle had the better XG than the opposition and had the lower XGA, chances created against, that's a game that, as an indicator, you can say, hey, Newcastle probably played well in that game. Now, somebody else might say, we watched the game. I don't think so. That's fine. I'm just using it as an indicator. So basically saying if Newcastle created more chances than the opposition and had less chances created against them, it's an indicator to suggest that they've played better. Now, they've performed well. Now, out of the 24 games that Newcastle played in the Premier League, 16 of those games, so 2/3 of those games, Newcastle produced the higher chances, XG, and the lower XGA, goals against. 8 of those games, so only 50% of those games, did Newcastle win. That's not good. So I'm going to agree. So what Howe is saying, is going to rewind it a little bit, is, hey, the results aren't good. So what does it matter But fine, Newcastle did not play. Newcastle do not have the results, but they haven't played like badly, regardless of but then he's now, and that was where you can say he was in denial, maybe, right? But what he's now saying is, like, despite Newcastle not playing badly, the results are the results. Like, and this is the point now where he's saying, like, and this is on top of what he said, like, this is his toughest period. Despite Newcastle's performances, we've not been playing well. Okay, what's the next step? That means something's got to change. Like, I've got to change something, right? I've got to do something. So let's see what he says next. I just looking out for your messages, right? So I'll make sure I don't miss your messages. Oh, sorry. Let me get back to it.
I don't think performances have been particularly bad. Statistically, we're still pretty strong in every game, but the results certainly haven't matched that. So,
head scratcher.
It's been a difficult run of games. It continued to be a difficult run of games for us, but that's where we all need to show our strength of character and our resolve and our resilience and our feeling that how important this is to us, and that needs to show most importantly on the pitch.
With that in mind, you just finally, we've talked a lot, haven't we, about Newcastle being at the best when the club is united, ultimately. How important is it to show that unity tomorrow?
The supporters, even on Saturday language, the supporters will feel been strong enough. So there's a big emphasis for us on that. I'd say in the last...
What's frustrating you the most about what you're seeing on the pitch domestically?
I think he says defence.
Make no apologies for that. The next game always comes into focus. So right now it's Tottenham, and that will be everything to us. I think so. I think that's where...
You see how he said that? I think it's Tottenham that means everything to us. That's what to the earlier question.
So. I think that's where...
To what he said, what Ash said to me, do you think you're not going to go all out because you've got the next game? Eddie Howe said this Tottenham game means everything to us. So you're going to see, I'm expecting...
Possession is a bigger problem, because obviously if you were better...
Pick up Louise Taylor. She gets a lot of stick.
History tells us that the transitional games we're really good at. So the Leeds game, for example...
Let me see. There's one bit. There's something else that he's...
very transitional game. That was evident.
Kind of engulf you if you can't...
No one can put you under the pressure that you put under yourself, because you're almost working pretty much 24/7. Can you just give a little bit of context on that?
it's the club and what that stands for. Of course, the players are a huge part of the picture. Sort of the pressure that individual that's so I will always act in the best interest in the club with every it's the club and so much about what I do. I care so much about the
Pretty much 24/7. Can you just give a little bit of context on that, please?
Yeah, I mean,
So I think this is the part where they ask him about his commitment.
I care so much about what I do. I care so much about the club. The club for me is always number one. Not myself, not any of the players. To a degree, it's the club and what that stands for. Of course, the players are a huge part of that. So I will always act in the best interest in the club with every decision that I make, whether that's about me or about any individual player. So I think when you're trying to act in that way and you're trying to think of the bigger picture, sort of the pressure that individuals or other people can put on you, it's irrelevant really. I have to live with my own thoughts of myself and what I'm delivering, and that's very honest to say that after the game that I need to do better, and I will do better. It's part of the evolution. It's part of growing, and these challenging moments are where you grow the most. So I'm looking forward to trying to do that.
Thank you, Luke.
Is your appetite for this job and your resilience, when you're talking about resilience there and coming through adversity, are you still as determined to do that now as you were when you arrived 4.5 years ago?
Yeah, I think I am. I think...
Great question. Are you still hungry, Eddie?
Going back to the previous question, I think the club's always number one, as I said, and I think you've got to, from my perspective, I've got to think that I am the right person for the job and I'm giving value and I'm helping the players and I'm the right person to get results, ultimately. So as long as I feel that in my heart and in my spirit, then my desire and my motivation levels are as high as there's ever been. But I think that's the key question I always have to ask myself. Am I the right person to take the team and the club forward?
Big question. Big question to any man, for any man in any walk of life. Am I the right man?
Did it take you to decide that on Sunday?
Well, it's not something I judge every day.
Yeah, don't do it every day, mate. Right. So that's why I said I thought it was a deep, deep conference. He's said what he was honest, in my opinion. And he's asked himself the tough questions. Am I the right man? He believes he's the right man. And he believes that he adds value. But you've got to see the results on the pitch. You've got to see the results of the pitch no matter what happens. So he's had those conversations, same conversations with the players. Are you the right man? So his starting lineup is going to be very, very interesting. I wonder if we're going to have any starting players, big name starting players who don't start the game, are fit and are available, but are on the bench. That'll be my thoughts on it. I wonder if there's any change in terms of how we intend to play. In the way we approach the game, in our attack, in our intensity, in everything that we do. I hope that there will be. So let me read the chat and get you guys' views. I'm glad I went through this with you guys as well. James says, my view it was, I'm happy to hear that he knows their issues. He's not blindsiding anything. He's shown that he will try and fix it. We just don't know how long it's going to take. I think wouldn't help us. Yeah, I think that's a mature way of seeing it, James. Like he is being honest and he is giving his view, and he probably will try to change things. It's a race against time to see how quickly we see those results. Are we going to see the impact straight away or not, essentially, a little bit later? Gogs says, Gog Singh. I hope I got that right, Gog Singh. God bless you. Welcome to the show. My conclusion on this is, folks, do remember to like, share, and subscribe as well. It really, really helps the channel. Gog Singh says, my conclusion on this, Eddie Howe out by media and certain fans is not what we do at NUFC. We are not a top 6 side. Understand that. Eddie Howe has given us his best in 4 years, and I back him. And Piff. Yeah, I agree. Certainly back Eddie Howe from my perspective. I don't even look at it as a top 6 side, even though I get what you mean. For me, it's the culture. Like, I think there's a few sheep in the media content creating world, and I think people want to be like what they see from big content creators from opposition side, from opposition teams, and they want to act like them, and they want to use terms like standards. We have standards, and they try to paint Newcastle in the same brush, and kind of they talk like, hey, the big teams sack managers. Like, why don't we sack managers? Hey, the big teams, if you're talking about Liverpool, haven't sacked a manager in over like how many, nearly 10 years, right? In fact, that they had a very, very happy succession between Jurgen Klopp and Arne Slot, and they won the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp, on his day when he was leaving, sang an Arne Slot chant in front of the Liverpool fans. That's how successful their succession was. Pep Guardiola has been at Man City for what, 10 years? Arteta has been at Arsenal for what, 6-7 years? It seems to me that the bigger the club and the more successful the club, the longer their managers stay. So if you're a big team, chopping and changing managers at the first sign of difficulty, doesn't seem to be what, if you want to be a big team, does. Now, that doesn't mean that Eddie Howe can lose the rest of all the games for the rest of the season. Let's try to take the argument at its best. Taking the argument at its best is saying probably now is not the best time to be waging a media campaign against a manager who's got an exceptional track record for us. How about we back him, see where he gets to? Everyone has a threshold. I have a threshold, but we're a unique club, like compared to any other team. I'm sure everyone will say that. Why are we pretending to be like other teams, like and other kind of how the other social media guys cover their teams? Why can't we're such a unique club? I just don't understand why we're trying to be like everybody else. Aaron says, I hope he can turn it around, but it's a big ask in my opinion. I want him to succeed and do well, but he hasn't helped himself in some instances this season. He's done it before. I think he can do it again, in my opinion. I think if you mean for me, I don't know if it's a big ask, but I'd say I think it's a unique situation where you haven't more or less been performing fine. The results haven't, not say fine, okay, right? But I think we don't deserve some of the results that we got. However, we've got them. How do you break that cycle? Essentially, does he throw in just put scrap it up and start something new and risk it again? I think that's the ask. Maybe for me, that's what I would say. Gog Singh says, I've been with NUFC since '89. God bless you. Excuse me. And I don't want dark days under Mike Ashley back. Oh, exactly. We should be back all that is black and white, and Eddie how he understands NUFC and the city. I agree. We're still in the project. Stability brings success. I absolutely agree. Okay, next one is Aaron says Brentford, for instance, sold all their best players and lost their manager and get better, so we have no excuses. Well, are Brentford on in the Champions League? Are Brentford in the semi-league in the final for, or even the semi-final for League Cup? Are they even still in the FA Cup? Newcastle have played 38 games this season. How many have Brentford played? I'd love to see how if Brentford in how their team and their squad is now, could they get to the second phase of the Champions League? Could they get to the semi-finals of the League Cup? No, they can't because they're not there. Are they still in the FA Cup? You know, I don't think that's the greatest. I don't think that's a great comparison. I don't think that's a great comparison in my view. James says, guess what, guys? Anthony Teddy referee over nightmare. I don't really look at. I don't look. I get what you're saying, James, but I don't really look at referees. I literally have. Maybe I'm a bit different to it, but I never pay attention to referees who's refereeing. John Clegg says, God bless you, John. Spurs have a total of 12 unavailable. We used to have that last year. Was it last year? No, the year before. So if cannot beat them, then that is a bad job. Yeah, I think both teams are on shaky ground. Gog Singh says we should be grateful that we have a good owners. With their investment, we have shown ourselves we can progress and will. Can anyone see where we would have been under a substandard ownership? Yeah, we have. We've had Mike Ashley. Do you remember that, Gog Singh? That was crazy. Substandard is even a compliment. Aaron says nobody will ever doubt Eddie's commitment. He's worked hard and is very committed. He just needs to do more tactically and in game management needs to be better. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying, Aaron. I get where you're coming from. I think it comes down to the players, in my opinion. But the amount of chances that we've created and not putting them away is insane. The Man City game alone, you've seen images. Okay, people like eye test. Then we've had 2 1-on-1s. At a minimum, we had 2 1-on-1s. Depends if you count the Langer one later on. With both Gordon and Willock. I think only Willock even had not Willock, even Gordon had a shot on target, still missed. Like, what do you do about that? I don't understand what in-game management you can do. What in-game management can you do at that point when you got 2 1-on-1s and you don't even there's not even like a shot, a quality shot on target. I don't know what that changes with a new manager or in-game management, in my opinion. Adrian says, he said he has to believe he is right. He said he has to believe he is the right man. Yeah, it's called backing yourself. Yeah. Because I think that's drawing. People are different. Some people draw their confidence externally. So they need people praising them. They need people to say, hey, you're amazing. You're doing great. And that's how they get it. That's how they kind of feel confident about themselves. I think everyone's different, but then there's other people who draw it from internally. So they don't need the praise of others. They draw it, they know their doubts, they know their fears, and they take their courage they take the courage and motivation from within, and they say, I back myself to do it. So even when others around them are saying you're not good enough, you're Mark Hughes, we can get a better name, get a manager, you're tactically inept. He's within himself says, no, I am good enough. I am the man. That's strength, in my opinion. Aaron came said, no, excuse me, he's talking to somebody else. Sorry. Missed that one. So James says, I might have just seen the heart attack. I've just seen a 352, please. Where's the 352? Big up, Mitch, you're back here. God bless you. Big up, Philip, and everyone in the chat. Big up to you, Mitch. Aaron says, you can caveat that argument with Chelsea sacking and hiring managers and maintaining success during the golden years. There are good managers out there who can do better. Chelsea didn't have the PSR that we have. Chelsea Football Club were spending hundreds of millions every year without being restrained by PSR. They're only getting investigated for this stuff now. If Newcastle United didn't have the scrutiny of PSR right now, we would absolutely, if our owners took over Newcastle at the same period that Abramovich took over Chelsea, we would sink them with the wages that we could offer compared to them. We would absolutely sink them. But now is a new day. I don't think we can compare the Chelsea of Roman Abramovich, where there was no PSR, to the team that we've got now. And if you ask Chelsea fans, yes, they won lots of trophies, the most trophies in 20 years than the other team, but they always say we never really dominated the league, you know. We never really dominated the league. That's the one thing. And I think if they had a manager for longer than 5 minutes, they might have been able to do that. So I just don't think you can repeat what Chelsea did, in my opinion, because on the one hand, you say Chelsea, on the other hand, I say Man United, Sir Alex Ferguson, 25 years, 13 Premier Leagues, multiple domestic trophies, 2 European Champions Leagues. Right? And then you can use Guardiola, 10 years, Man City, multiple trophies again. 8 years, 9 years, even Klopp, multiple trophies again. So, Brentford are still in the FA Cup. Yeah, they're not fair play to them, but they're not in the Champions League, and they're not in the League Cup. We've played 9 more games than them. I wonder how their squad would be if they had to play 9 more games. If they had to play 3 games every week since November, I wonder how Brentford would be. Aaron says, I mean, from a recruitment perspective, Brentford have shown they can sell and get better. Yes, we are playing more games, but I'm talking specifically about recruitment. But you can't just say recruitment and then not include more games, because maybe their recruitment is good with the amount of games that they've got. If you up that, if Brentford had to play, even with the recruitment they got now, if they had to play 3 games a week since November, would Brentford be 7th in the league? I just don't. I seriously doubt that they would be. I seriously doubt that. And in the second phase of the Champions League, and in the semi-final of the League Cup, I don't think so, in my opinion. Adrian says, backing yourself is saying directly, I am the right man. But that's what he said. I mean, he said, whether he says, I have to believe, I think you can say, I am the right man, or you can say, I have to believe I am the right man. When if someone's, for me, I take it as, and I see what you're saying, Adrian, that he's not maybe confident, but I take, which could be the case, that he's not confident, but I take that as a strength. Saying I'm the right man doesn't mean that you don't have doubts, that you're not self-aware, that, hey, I know I have these weaknesses about me. I know I'm scared, right? I know I'm frightened that I might not be the right man. But I'm still gonna take courage. I have to believe that I am. Despite these fears, despite these doubts, I believe I'm the right man. I have to believe I'm the right man, because what's the alternative to that? I'm not gonna believe I'm the right man, and all hell breaks loose on me, right? So I don't see that, for me personally. I don't see that as a, and it all depends. Maybe this is where life experience and what people say is different. People kind of can view that differently. I see that as a strength. I think he's had to be very honest with himself before he can go to the players and say, hey, I want you to be honest. Have you been good enough? And they turn around to him and say, have you been good enough? Before they ask him that question, because if they ask him that question and they can sense he's even lying to himself, He needs to look in the mirror and he has to be able to say to himself, have I been in the right, have I been doing the right things or not? Right? So I have to believe I'm the right man. For me, is saying I have doubts, I have fears, I know we're not performing, I know these things are not happening right. I have to believe I'm the right man. I think that's a strength. Gogsing says, is it time for Eddie to open the shackles of youth and let them take the next step, shine? But what youth, in my opinion? We don't have a strong academy, in my view. Like every other game I'm watching, we're getting pumped. Like every other game, like I'm watching. I know that we've won recently against Aston Villa, but the reason I know that is because it's such a shock. Like we don't usually win. So big up Mitch. Mitch says from the where the Our Sleep podcast says, it amazes me how many compare us to other teams that play much less games and getting much more time training to implement their ideas correctly week in, week out. We can't compare ourselves to Brentford. I totally agree with that. We've got to have some sort of similarities with teams. That's why the conversation with Ash and Tottenham was so relevant, because we've actually even played more games than Tottenham, because we're still they're not even the FA Cup. I said, Ash, how are you going to do the FA Cup, because we're not in the FA Cup? They got knocked out. Mitch says we have to play a different way with many new players, but also have no time to really put it all together. I agree. Gogsing says, with all due respect to NUFC, PIF have bigger deals in world sport and will not do anything to muddy the waters in their name. They are playing the waiting game to NUFC success. Possibly. One more. James says there's definitely some progress in the youth team with some players that have to be very impressive. We just need to go into a whole other level. It will take time, though. I agree. Folks, it's been an incredible show. I had my man Mitch on the show. Big friend of the channel, doing his thing. Absolutely amazing. We had Ash. Ash did an extra 45 minutes. It's 9 o'clock. But being the man that he is, he not only gave us the breakdown, his knowledge in football is insane, right? But he not only broke down the game to us and told us all things Newcastle United, but he even did a scouting profile with us. He did a scouting profile for us of Curtis Jones, which we did. Some people are not sold on him. I get why. But we'll see where we go from there. But the amazing part of the show have been you guys. You guys have been ringing off the chat. You've been liking, you've been sharing, you've been subscribing. And what I like is that in this tough moment for our club, yes, we disagree, but we're still united, right? And so that's what I love about this channel. That's what I really love about you guys, about you folks. Make sure you have a great evening, day or morning, wherever you are, wherever you're doing. And as always, folks, God bless you all. Take care.